welcome to another episode of Jets Afterburners. New York Jets stand 16, Liam right there, and we're celebrating because it's finally over. It's done. That's it. This whole entire debacle, this experiment, it's over. That's it. Last Sunday, nail in the coffin. Is he coming back? Is he not? This is done. It's over. We can finally move forward. Liam, are you excited?
Oh, yeah. I can't wait. You know, it's been long enough. I'm ready to turn the page on the season. I'm so glad that this season, the final nail has been put in. I can't wait. You know, I just move on, find a way to get it right. It doesn't seem like it's going to be Vrabel, the guy that I wanted. But listen, you know, he's not the only option out there. We're going to get into a ton of options tonight.
Without a doubt. And now with that, without further ado, we're going to bring on the star of the night right now. It is the man himself. Buffalo Jet fan. What's up, brother?
What's up? I wish my day job would introduce me like that, man.
You know they do. Stop lying.
Oh man.
Are you excited, man? Finally, it's over. It's done. 2024, 25, that project completely went up in flames. They're really bad chemists. Now they can move forward. What do you think, man? Do you have that vibe, that feeling that we're going to screw it up or we're finally going to get it right?
I'm relieved that the season is over because it was probably, in terms of expectations to results, like one of the worst seasons I can remember. Even worse than last year because once Rodgers went down, my hopes for last season kind of went away. And then it was just like they were playing with house money. So the disaster is over. I'm kind of numb. Like, you know, I'm a little emotionally detached from the team at this point. So we'll see what they do. But, you know, I like that they have a big crop of candidates that they're having the 33rd tee to help them out. You know how it goes though, man. We'll eventually buy in no matter what they do. They'll hire some terrible coach and we'll talk ourselves into it being all good in a couple of months, man. We'll be back. We'll be back by like end of February.
Yeah. You know it. Yep. You know it because I was all in. I was not all in on Gase. And then after like 3 weeks into it, after the hiring, I'm like, I like how he treats the Miami reporters.
I was just
he has no idea what's coming.
I was just gonna say I talked myself into Adam Gase. I can talk myself into anybody, you know.
But
as unfortunate as it is.
Like Vrabel was our guy, right? We liked what Vrabel brought. In my opinion, it was very Parcells-ish, not the accolades or anything. It was just that disciplinarian type of, we're changing the attitude here, no nonsense approach. I love that. But then what the Patriots just pulled off, I mean, not for nothing. They should be stripped from their first rounder. Give it to the Jets. If you want to give it to a team that has always complied with the Rooney Rule, it's the New York Jets. And not only complied, but hired those coaches, Herman Edwards, Todd Bowles, Robert Saleh. What the Pats did, especially yesterday, what was it? Leftwich and Shaw? Yeah. Right away.
Pep Hamilton, I think it was.
Pep Hamilton. Gone. Done. Over. Just to check off the boxes. Obviously, Vrabel is going to be the head coach probably tomorrow. That's how I look at it. It's going to be really easy. But as far as the Jets, that option's off the table. Who's your next man up? Or maybe Vrabel wasn't even on the table for you.
Before we get into that real quick, though, Aaron Glenn did turn them down. They did reach out to Aaron Glenn, too.
The Patriots?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Today. He said no.
I don't know if that's worth any weight or not.
That's big because he knows what.
A little bit, just considering, you know, he's like one of the hot top names right now. It's not, they didn't just, you know, like, they didn't just get some guy off the street to say, yeah, we interviewed 7 guys and Vrabel's obviously the best one. So I don't know, you know, but anyway, go ahead, Buff.
Yeah, no, I did see that. What's up, Liam? How you doing, man? It's been a minute.
Good. Yeah, it's been a while.
Good to see you, brother. I wish it was under better circumstances, man.
Yeah.
His team was better, dude.
Well, you know what? The season's over. It's a fresh start, new page, new year.
There we go. Hey, we're undefeated in 2025. We're 1-0 in 2025. There we go. Yeah, I think that could be either a middle finger because he's a Jet, a middle finger because of their egregious use of the Rooney Rule, the most obvious. Like, I mean, I get it. Like, if that's they want to hire, then they got to do what they got to do. But pretty shameless in how obvious they were about it. They did even the graphic they put up of the guys that they interviewed. It looked like some 2-year-old made it. Right. So pretty brutal there. But Aaron Glenn, yeah, I'm okay with that. Open mind. I don't think it's fair just to say, oh, he's going to be Saleh, because the thing about the Jets is they've failed in every imaginable way. They've had offensive coaches, defensive coaches, new coaches, retread coaches. They've signed bridge quarterbacks, traded for old Hall of Fame quarterbacks, drafted multiple quarterbacks in the first round, drafted quarterbacks in the second round. So you could go back and draw a line and say, this coach reminds me of, X, Y, and Z, and that's why it's not going to work out. At the end of the day, the Jets need a leader. They need a leader, and they didn't have that. Saleh I just didn't think he had the personality for it. He'll get a job in 5 seconds as a DC, but he didn't have the personality for it. So if Aaron Glenn can come and be that leader, that stabilizing force, I'm all for it. Obviously, his defenses have been good. He did have a couple years, a cup of coffee as a scout, which on his resume, which I think is nice from like a personnel standpoint. But it's a crapshoot, man. Predicting what coordinators are going to be good head coaches, we have no idea. I mean, even Ben Johnson, who everyone's salivating over, like, we don't know that Ben Johnson can lead a football team. We don't. I would take my chances if he would pick up the phone, no doubt. Don't get me wrong, but we don't know. So it's a crapshoot, man. I'm gonna keep an open mind. I like Aaron Glenn. I want somebody who wants to be here too, who's not Rex Ryan, by the way.
Right.
I was just gonna be like, is that who you're talking about?
No.
The beauty of having, I'm sorry, someone like Aaron Glenn is he was here before Parcells came here. And I'm sorry that I keep bringing up Bill Parcells, but those were the highlight years for a Jet fan. Yeah, I get it years later with Rex and whatnot. We were 3-13, 1-15 with Rich Kotite, both of whom Aaron Glenn was a part of. Then he saw the entire thing kind of revamp in 97 and saw how things were really done. Then fast forward to the Detroit Lions. Guys, how fast do we forget how the Lions sucked, but like beyond the Jets? They blow the Jets out of the water. That's how bad the Lions have been throughout their history. And he saw someone like Dan Campbell go in and change that culture. That's why I'm kind of warming up to the idea of Aaron Glenn, as much as he was probably 6-7 on my list, man. I got to be honest. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the only thing that kind of holds him back is just because he hasn't had that head coaching experience. But the guy's been around winners his entire life, from Parcells to Sean Payton to now even Campbell. And it's not just, he's seen two organizations do a 180. He saw it with the New York Jets firsthand as a player, so he knows what it's like as a player and as a coach. He's seen both sides of the spectrum. He's seen the Lions turnaround, which nobody thought was even possible. And it's only going to work in his favor. And you gotta, if he has half of a brain, then he would have a clue on how to fix this. I think the biggest thing that would stand in his way possibly is Woody. I hate to say it, but that's probably the thing that would hinder him the most, if I had to guess.
Yeah, Woody Johnson is a massive obstacle, obviously. I think that the one thing that I point out when we talk about the Jets and how they're not a good job opening, because they're not. Like your boss having a bad boss is no good. And you don't have a quarterback. Like at most you have one more year of a geriatric Aaron Rodgers. And then you have Jordan Travis, who's like hasn't even medically been cleared to practice, and he's like 29 years old or whatever. So it's not looking too great there. But the Chiefs don't have an opening. The Ravens don't have an opening. The Bills don't have an opening. The Lions don't have an opening. Like these teams that need new head coaches and GMs have all kinds of problems. The Saints are like negative 68 in cap space, and they have a mess of a quarterback contract themselves, right? The Titans, they have all kinds of disarray and inconsistency at ownership. They don't have a quarterback now. They have a number one overall pick, which is nice. The Raiders, I mean, Tom Telesco gets one draft. He drafts like a Hall of Fame looking tight end and 2 starting offensive linemen, and they fire him right away. So between those 3 spots, I wouldn't be shocked if somebody said, at least from a GM perspective, that they'd want to work for the Jets, just because it's a bunch of terrible options. And the coaching, it's a similar situation. I mean, maybe if somebody feels like, Drake May or Caleb Williams has some potential, they probably want to go there over the Jets. But there's only 3 GM spots and 5 coaching spots. People want promotions. And remember, Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas were the people's choice, man. We didn't think we were going to be able to get those guys. We got them. It was high approval rating from the fan base, and it didn't work out. So they're going to be able to get some people, man. I have an open mind to newbies. I don't, because people always say, "Oh, I want an experienced coach." Okay, how about Arthur Smith? Oh God, no. Okay, how about Matt Nagy? No, Vance Joseph. I'll kill my like. Okay, so we can say that I want an offensive mind who's an experienced coach.
Right.
Okay, but you have to have a name. Like you know what I mean? Like Andy Reid is not available.
Well, piggybacking off of that, right? Like what you had said before, it's a common narrative that, you know, the Jets are not attractive and whatnot. But if you look back, like Andy Reid, before taking the KC job, it was not attractive whatsoever. They had no quarterback until they traded for Alex Smith. Then you had, again, the Saints before Sean Payton. Same thing. There has to be a plan in place. Even the Bills with McDermott, I think they sucked for a year. Then they got Josh Allen. There has to be something in play here. That's why, to me, yes, the head coach is super important. But now GM-wise, I'm a big Mike Borgonzi guy. I love the guy, what he brought to Kansas City. He was influential as a whisperer to John Dorsey on Mahomes, on Kelsey, on even Kareem Hunt. I got to throw it out there. Tyreek Hill. Someone that has seen it done firsthand and is ready to take that leap. Now, the same could be said about Joe Douglas when he was with the Ravens and then with the Eagles. But I just feel like Borgonzi's waiting for that possible next step. And plus, he's Italian. I mean, what else?
Yeah, he looks like a Sopranos extra, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's perfect. No one's going to miss
fit.
meetings.
Isn't he local? Isn't he from Jersey? Am I making that up?
With that
I
face,
believe he is.
with that face, he covers Queens, Brooklyn, Jersey. You know what I mean? What are your thoughts on like the GM?
Borgonzi is intriguing because he has a background in both pro and college personnel, and obviously no experience. But the good thing about that, he doesn't have bad experience, because you look at some of the GMs like Ryan Grigson, like hard pass. I don't care. Ryan Grigson ruined Andrew Luck's career. I'd rather take a shot with a newbie than him. So I like Borgonzi. I'm also intrigued by Thomas Dimitroff because he was a GM. I think it was for like 12 years in Atlanta, and what was impressive about him is they started off hot. And when he started off first draft, Matt Ryan, they started off hot because they still inherited like Tony Gonzalez, Michael Turner, that crew. Then that kind of fizzled out, and they had a couple of years under 500. And then they and then hired a new coach, and then rebuilt it back up to winning program. Obviously, got to a Super Bowl and choked it away. So he's shown that he can, build a team multiple times and multiple different coaches. It wasn't just a one-off. So that's a high floor pick. Like, he's not going to run your franchise into the ground, right? So Dimitroff is an intriguing name. He probably is the most experienced like GM candidate in their hiring pool. I think probably has the best resume.
Do you see any situation where maybe they look inwards and maybe consider Phil Savage?
I hope not, man.
I hope not either. He's just, a name. I could see a scenario where he's a name that's been around a long time scouting. Like he has like a somewhat impressive resume. Like I'm not campaigning for him, but if anybody says like, yeah, we're just gonna stick with Phil Savage, I don't think any of us are gonna be surprised. Maybe a little bit. It's tough.
I would not like that.
Nothing that they do would surprise me. Like that's the problem, But
yeah, I think they would have maybe announced that interview, because Jeff Ulbrich is getting an interview, believe it or not. I don't think he's going to get the job, so maybe we'd have heard about that. But look, to your point, Liam, is the Jets have a lot of people who have been, influencing decisions on this team that like no one ever really sees or hears of, like Jaime et al. And there's these guys, there are these player personnel guys who have been there like 16, 17 years. I picture them like the guy in Office Space in the basement who's like playing with his stapler or whatever. Like what are these? We need those people who come in and say, what is it that you do here? Like we have to sit all these people down and ask them what is it they do here. They have if you go to the website, I'm looking at it right now, they have a player personnel roster of like 25 dudes. And if you click on some of them, it's like some of them have been here a long, long time. So that really needs to be cleaned out. And that's why I was hoping, and maybe they still will, I was really hoping they would hire both like a president of football ops and a GM. And because somebody to completely gut that and clean that out, because I think Woody Johnson is always thinks it's like one thing and it's going to be a fix. Like, oh, we needed a quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. It's always one thing away with him. Where like this rot of all these people needs to be totally cleaned out. I don't think it would be Phil Savage. The one thing I would say about if they wanted to run it back with Aaron Rodgers for one more year, which I don't think they're going to do, like, okay, would you just say, okay, Phil Savage, you're the GM for one more year. We're going to rent a coach, Rex Ryan, and then we're going to just go out there and say F it with Aaron Rodgers for one more year. And then after that, we're going to completely purge and start new. There was a brief time where I thought they might do that, like in between Saleh and JD's firing, but I think that time has passed.
Well, that's what I wanted to piggyback off of, right? Like all these GMs that we're seeing, could it be possible that we might be looking for a football ops, maybe someone like Alec Hallaby, right? The assistant general manager for the Eagles. Maybe he might not be our GM, but maybe I think that would be higher, right? At football operations. And then from there, maybe get a Dimitrov at GM, some young blood in at One Jet Stride, because this is driving us crazy, man. Because it's like every 3 years, they're promising us the world. But yes, there's a facade. We're looking younger. But it's like a boardroom meeting at a co-op over here in Howard Beach. It's like always the old folks just running the show. Like enough is enough. Get some new blood in there, but from the inside out. Do you feel like there's that transition finally happening? Or is it, GM, head coach, that's it?
Yeah, I think it'll probably be the latter. You mentioned Dimitrov. I don't know if he'd want to do it, but I think Dimitrov would be really good for the head of football operations, just with his level of experience, and maybe a Borgonzi at GM. I mean, that would get me really excited if they were to do that pairing. I'm not sure that they're going to do that. Rich Cimini in his last article, he kind of threw it in there, mentioned that of the crop of these candidates, they might be willing to make multiple hires like that. Nice. But I think that's required. I think that they need and even just the manpower they have listed at certain spots. You go to other teams, you look at the Baltimore Ravens, and they have 42 people for player personnel and development. And the Jets, it's 25. I mean, it's almost double the amount of people that they have doing that. Now, the Jets have way more people for ticket sales reps. They got, though they will call you day, night, and anywhere in between. But and they have one analytics guy. They have one 23-year-old crypto bro is their analytics guy or whatever. But they have 200 ticket sales reps. So I think when we talk about GM, the front office itself, how that's put together is going to be a big tell on how, to the extent which Woody Johnson understands how much work needs to be done.
Did you send your resume?
Yeah, man.
Did you
I DM'd it to Brick.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. And then you got to create a character in Madden too, and then send that rating over to make sure you really nail
That's how
it.
you met him. That's how you met him with the hello.
Yeah, you guys met him playing Madden online.
Yeah, on Xbox Live.
But
Yeah, he was saying some crazy stuff on there. I don't know.
I'm sure he was. But yeah, you could always bank that you will get your little Monday night or Sunday, whatever primetime night game it is, bracelet that lights up, and you will be in the seats at MetLife. That is the one thing that the New York Jets will guarantee up until week 6, and then it really starts dying down. And then you're called a lunatic if you go to all the games during the season, But usually you are. It's got to be a mental thing at that point. But just getting back to the whole football ops thing.
What about your Jeremy Rucker bobblehead that wasn't worth it?
It was. I got to tell you, it was. That thing's collecting some really valuable dust.
Mine's missing a head.
That's gonna be. It's just a bobble. That's gonna be at a yard sale in 5 years. You wait and see. I'll buy that from you for $3. But just getting back to the whole football ops thing. If you guys remember back when, the day that Joe Douglas was fired, at work, I just a bunch of podcasts, and I listen to other guys too. And a name that was really thrown around a lot, potentially for GM and or football ops, was Curtis Martin. He's somebody that's wanting to get into the front office for years. Dan, that fits the criteria of, inside out. He's a New York Jet through and through. I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I haven't heard anything about it since the day that Joe Douglas got fired.
Yeah, there was a brief 3 days on the internet where there was a lot of buzz about that, and then it just never came up. I know he said that he's not a fan of football, he viewed it as a job, but obviously, right now the president of football operations is kind of Woody Johnson. So if you're asking me Curtis Martin or Woody Johnson, I don't have to think about that twice, right? You can give me Curtis Martin to be totally fine. I know Pete Carroll was a name. I think he would be great for that. I don't think he wants any part of the Jets. I think he still wants to coach. I would interview him as a coach, but I don't think he wants any part of the Jets. So, yeah, man, Curtis Martin, fine by me. Again, right now it's like Woody Johnson and Jaime Atal, so I would take Curtis Martin over them.
Now, honing down again back to the head coaching, possibly who we might be getting. Now, the Bears today, they interviewed Pete Carroll. Everybody wants a veteran head coach.
Yeah.
Would you give him a shot to bring him in and say, look, I don't know how much time you have here. Like, do you want to invest 3 years, 5 years, or 7? What is your long-term plan? Would you give him at least the courtesy of an interview?
Well, I think he'd have to consult a doctor first.
He's like a
Pete's spry, man. Dude,
yeah.
Pete
He's
73 is younger than Rex Ryan 62. I'll tell you that.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you that.
Lose that much weight.
No, Pete probably feels better than me getting out of bed in the morning, man. He's on his side, clapping, chewing gut. He's younger than the last 2 presidents.
That's true.
Right. Exactly.
Well, look, with Pete, obviously it's not going to be a 5-year solution. I think it could be a Bruce Arians thing where he's going to coach for 2 years and then maybe go upstairs to another role. So I think with Pete, the advantages are he, more than anyone else, like his ability to network and build a staff and put the right people in place would probably be above any other candidate that you could possibly get. And that is one of the most important things the head coach can do is build the staff. I think he has the clout to be able to tell Woody Johnson to stuff Woody Johnson in a locker and not get bullied by a teenager like Joe Douglas was or whatever, like Robert Saleh feeling sorry for themselves. Like, I get it, working for Woody Johnson is annoying, but those two just tuck their tails between their legs. And I don't think Pete Carroll would do that. So you have somebody with some stones. You have somebody who can build a staff and who can build a culture, who's going to the Hall of Fame. And you look at his record as a head coach. You look at the records of the Seattle Seahawks. It's like they had only 2 years. He had one time where he had back-to-back losing seasons in like 20 years as an NFL head coach. So there's a high floor there. You're not going to be terrible under Pete Carroll. Hey, he has the Russell Wilson looking like a borderline Hall of Fame quarterback that was taken in the 3rd round. Hasn't looked great since he left. Geno Smith, the revitalization of Geno Smith is on his resume. Geno's looked worse since he left for whatever it's worth. So Pete Carroll, absolutely worth an interview. Would he be the number 1 choice because of his age? Probably not. But yeah, man, like if you can't get your top, 3-4 options, and you're talking Pete Carroll or Rex Ryan or Matt Nagy, yeah, man, Pete Carroll is definitely should be in the mix.
I'm going to throw some possible quarterbacks out there that may be for the taking. Again, we don't know who the head coach might be, but we do know that this is not a great draft class with the quarterbacks. So, Jameis Winston or trading for J.J. McCarthy if Sam Darnold continues this, or here's the wild card.
Okay.
Brock Purdy. They're not willing to pay big bucks for him. That's what Chris Sims is saying.
That's interesting. I haven't heard that.
Would you guys, let's say we get, I'm going to throw this out here and people are going to kill me on this, but we get Borgonzi, then he gets his guy that he knows very well.
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, okay. Matt Nagy as head coach. Would you guys be okay with our quarterback being Brock Purdy?
Yes. Well, yeah, because he's had a lot of success in his young career. Because I have a really good friend of mine that's like a diehard 49ers fan, and I got to say it's cleaned up a lot this year. And I'm not saying that they're hand in hand, but similar to like Jimmy Garoppolo, they always have like that one stupid interception, or like I've seen it a lot with Brock Purdy, where like sometimes he just craps the bed. It's some of these rare games. Like I don't know what it is with him. I think that there is like a little bit of like inconsistency. Although, I mean, like given like the circumstances this year, like they kind of got that injury bug that we had a couple years ago. Exactly. You can only do so much when like you're missing like everyone. Like the rookie wide receiver got shot. And like that's not even like an exaggeration. And then Brandon Ayuk getting injured and Christian McCaffrey and just everything that happened with them. So I don't see them moving on from Brock Purdy. Honestly, I didn't see that report. I don't know if that just came out or something. I haven't seen that, I wouldn't be opposed to it. There's not many guys that I wouldn't be opposed to. I don't even know if we're 100% done with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, like, he might come back. I think it depends on the next staff if they want him back. I saw a thumbnail from it looked like, I don't remember if it was like Boomer and Gio or one of the WFAN crews that was suggesting that Rodgers go to the Giants. I saw a thumbnail for that. I didn't click on it, but I don't know. I mean, he lives in Jersey already. He's already there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But Brock Purdy, I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Yeah, I don't think they move on from him, but I mean, Brock Purdy would. I mean, he's got like I'm like right now, 68% completions, 64 touchdowns to 27 picks, 9 yards per attempt in his career. He'd be like the best quarterback in our franchise's history. So yeah, obviously I take that. Now the question isn't would you take him? The question is what are you trading for him, and then you're paying him an extension. Obviously, is built into it. But yeah, obviously he'd be. I think the 49ers keep him. I would guess. I
What if you
think
could
they
trade Rodgers there? He's always wanted to be a 49er, and then I think he hated him. But, end of the career, different staff, maybe that's a way he wants to go out.
Is 41, 42-year-old Rodgers better than 26-year-old Brock Purdy?
Probably not.
I don't know.
But
Probably not. But that's their problem.
Yeah, they got to deal with that.
Yeah.
But Liam, that's a really good point because again, you look at Shanahan out west. Yes, he's a terrific coach, but you could see that the window is kind of closing down. Everybody's getting a little older, and the time to win is right now. So that might not be so far fetched of trading Aaron Rodgers to the Niners. Obviously, there would have to be some restructuring and whatnot, and we would get Brock Purdy just for the time being. Like I don't look at Brock Purdy as a franchise quarterback, whatever the case is. Maybe 3-year deal, something
I
along
think he
those
has the
lines.
potential to.
Yeah, something like that. Like maybe we hit it out of the park, Ryan Fitzpatrick type of 2015 season, where it's exciting to be a freaking Jet fan. That to me is the biggest problem. We watch here every Sunday and we're looking, and there's nothing to root for. It's just deflating. Like this year was supposed to be the year, guys. Like we went into this playoffs where it's like it was an afterthought. It's like, man, this is, of course we're going to be playing in January. Yeah, we played in January to end the season.
Yeah.
That sucked.
The first week of January.
Exactly. I can't, man. I can't.
I know.
But it is what it is. Listen, man, I just want to thank you so much, dude, for just coming on.
Yeah, man.
Shooting the shit, dude. There's not a lot to talk about right now with the Jets not playing, but you always bring the fire, always bring the heat, man. And we love your channel, dude. If you want to plug in BJF, go right ahead.
Yeah, Buffalo Jet fan, YouTube, Twitter, talking about the Jets, man. That's what we do on here. But I appreciate it, guys. Anytime I'll have you guys on my channel sometime this long off season. But keep up the grind, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Have a great one.
Take care, guys.
Later. All right, man. Look, I gotta keep this train going because I'm gonna just bring up a little bit of some sound bites here because I think it's important that I know a lot of people are down on Aaron Glenn. He's a defensive guy, but let's get something straight here. And it's not like I'm advocating. I want Aaron Glenn. I want him. But if you look at the lists here, coaches that want to be here, Vrabel doesn't want to be here. It's obvious. It's obvious. It's obvious what he did last week. He fooled me. He fooled all of Jets Nation. Because then the following day, the Crafts cheese guys, they release Mayo. Not good. Hellman's.
I'm going to tell you this, though, before we go any further.
Yeah.
Until it is announced that he is the Patriots head coach, I refuse to give up faith. You never know. You never know. It's very strange to me that they went for Aaron Glenn. I don't know why they would.
Who? The Pats?
Yes.
Oh, you know why? To show face, to show that because they know they really messed up and they don't care. They wanted to show face to the point where, hey, look, we know we went after Byron Leftwich and the other guy that no one even wants an interview just to check off the boxes of the Rooney Rule. But we want to also showcase to the NFL that we were really serious about abiding by the Rooney Rule. And that's why I love what Aaron Glenn said. He's like, F you. Like, you don't do that. I'm not going to waste my time with you. And
yeah.
Like, look at the beauty of this here. with Aaron Glenn. Just listen, guys. Again, being a head coach, it's not just X's and O's and this and that. You got to connect with players, the fans, everything. And when the players buy in, things like what's going on with Detroit happens. Listen to this. It's 1:30.
No doubt. And today's coaching, man, you have to be
Can you hear it?
relatable.
Yep.
Right? The players have to be able to sit down and talk to you and have a conversation. Man, there are so many players I'll talk to this day. Say, man, I've never had a chance to just sit and talk with a coach. I've never had a chance to have interaction and confrontation with a coach. It's always like, I got to shut up. And I said, no, man, tell me exactly what your issues are, right? And we can talk about it. Man, me and Tracy Walker, Tracy came to my house, right, before training camp. Me and Tracy was sitting there just knocking tape out. And one day he was just quiet. And I was like, what's wrong? He said, Coach, I've never, ever had a chance to go to a coach's house. You know, your wife over there cooking dinner, your daughter's running around, all right? And I'm sitting here watching tape, man. That just don't happen. And I was shocked, like, why?
Right.
Why can't it happen? Because you know what? As a player, man, I would love to sit down with my coach and sit there and pick his brain and watch. And so, man, that's what I want to offer to all my players, right? Dude, this is coaches over here and players over. That's not what we are, man. We right here, right? Because my job is to help you get better. That's my only job, all right? My job is to create a winning environment for you, get you paid, right? Because everybody wins, right? The organization wins and you win if all those things happen. So yeah, I'm gonna sit here and spend as much time as I can with you because that's my pleasure anyway, to sit here and watch tape with you and get you better.
So after watching something like that, right, as a Jet fan, someone who's played here, who knows how the media is, who knows how it is to change the culture around when Parcells was here, you're telling me you listen to that and you think of Robert Saleh, you think of Todd Bowles, you think of Eric Mangini. I don't. I see something different there. Someone that's connecting with people, with players, with management, and someone who has the balls to maybe stand up against a Woody Johnson, if that would ever happen. If he is the guy, that's all I'm saying. If he is the guy, so if he becomes head coach of the New York Jets, it is what it is. I'm okay. I'm all right. His resume speaks for it. Freaking defense is killing it right now. I mean, Dan Campbell wouldn't have. What's that?
I'm trying to find something to send to you right now if I can.
Sure. Now, you don't mind if I bring up these two studs over here?
No, not at all.
I'll bring them right up. Afram. What's up, my friend?
What stud?
Armand. What's going on?
Hi,
Hey, what
Afro.
stud you brought up?
Hi, guys.
Oh, okay, man.
So, got a little bit of breaking news.
Oh.
Football news, not Jets news.
Oh.
I just sent it to you, Dan.
Pete Carroll will be interviewing for the Raiders head coaching job.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Interesting.
So it's not going to be Belichick then?
Belichick is committed to North Carolina.
I saw a report that Brady was trying to lure him over. Dan, the clip I just sent you, I think it's like 1:30. This is what we would be getting. You know, talk about holding players accountable. And
All
hello, Afram, by the way.
There you
We're
go.
not.
Let me.
We're not.
Can you hear you, Afram?
Afram,
What? Yes.
hi.
Oh,
Okay.
it's right there. All right, guys.
Okay.
So this is what we would be getting here at One Jets Drive if Aaron.
Buildings?
Yes.
The only person in Detroit
Can you hear
unhappy
it?
with Jared Goff's
Yeah.
performance these days is defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn.
Here's what I want you to understand about practice yesterday. But we cannot let our offense go out there and complete 16 of 18 passes. That is fucking bullshit. That is fucking bullshit for that to happen.
You're allowed, Aaron.
I don't give a damn what nobody else thinks how you used to practice, but we're not going to let them fucking practice like that. If you're not with that, you get the fuck out. I'm just telling you.
That's what I like to hear.
Yep.
We played give up football yesterday. And right now, our fucking offense is laughing because they think that they're so far ahead of us and we can't catch up. And that burns me up. I'm just telling you. It does. And that's how we fucking operate. Because we think we cool and we think this shit okay. We think it's okay. And that's what the fuck's wrong with us right now. We think shit is so fucking okay. And just look at this fucking practice. And what I tell you, what do offenses try to do if they get one guy moved? What are they trying to create? They trying to create everybody's moving, and look what they created on us. They did exactly what they want to do. They played us like fucking puppets. That's what they did. Football is hard enough as it is. We making shit harder. That makes sense. So I don't want those folks just catching the ball. Of all camp, we're getting up 72%. That's what we're doing. So if they throw it 10 times, they catch it 7. That's fucking bullshit. And we're allowing that shit, think it's okay. That's not fucking football. That's not secondary play or fucking linebacker play. This is losing football. It's losing football.
The only person.
So
in
at
Detroit
what
on
point
that
did you ever hear Saleh do something like that?
I have
At
3
all?
words: leader of men.
Yep. And that's what I like about Aaron Glenn. I like him because of what he brings. He holds people accountable. Can he be that next head coach that we're going to be enamored with? He shows
We
it.
don't know.
We don't know. We don't
know. But that's true with any coordinator comes in.
No offense to this person, I can't stand it cannot be a defensive guy. It cannot be an offensive guy.
It can't for me. It can't for me.
Why? Why?
We've had them.
So
Roy
what?
has hired defensive-minded coaches. 6 teams right now in the playoffs are head coached by offensive-minded guys.
Yeah, but you're not just
And
getting.
one team is coached by a special teams guy, and that's Baltimore with Harbaugh.
But the thing is, like, you're not just you're supposed to be getting a CEO type head coach, and that's to me
They
what he
tried to
is.
do that with Saleh, and that failed.
Well, he's a first. Yeah.
The CEO shit, I can't stand it. I can't stand it.
It's
Have you ever
about-
seen Saleh act that way though? He did one time in Hard Knocks, when he was going off on the offensive line. That was our first chance to prove who we are. And that's as
He-
far as it went. And then he started talking about
That's
the
called
birds
editing.
and crows
That's
and
called editing.
whatever.
The eagle.
He started doing the chicken dance.
Here's the problem. The problem is that Saleh focused on the defense and let the offense run itself, just like Rex.
Come
did.
on, Vinny, bring it on.
Okay. Because Rex was ground and pound, and that was it. There was no fault. You get a good offensive coordinator, and that's what you want, right? A good
Yep.
offensive coordinator. You need the head coach to get involved with the offense as well to know what's going on. Saleh never did. He just took it face value from his buddy that got fired after the first year.
He just never had a good staff around him.
That's the key. You could get blue in the face until you have a good staff surrounding you,
Yeah, call
just like
Vinny.
a team.
I'm joking.
8675309.
Because he can't call it now, so he said debate you later. So all right, you just
Yeah,
call
I
him.
guess I'll call him. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
Wow. Thanks, Elmo.
you could have an offensive coordinator that couldn't care less about the defense.
Yeah.
You need a
Right.
guy that's going to care about everything.
Exactly. So it's not really whether he's a defensive or offensive head coach. It's a coach that will take over the entire team and get involved in all aspects.
Let me.
Right?
I believe it. Real
let
quick.
me ask you a
and-
question, Armand. Let me ask you a question. When Rex took us to 2 AFC Championship games, right? So, did you complain that he wasn't an offensive style head coach? You know what I mean? Like, to me, it was all right. At what point do we have a head?
Wait, about the players and the coaching staff.
1 second. This is a big problem because everybody wants
Don't interrupt.
an offensive minded coach. What was Bill Parcells like? What is Bill Belichick? Oh, Brady made him. Yeah,
He
but
actually did. He actually did.
not when Brady
He
went
did
down.
shit with Cleveland. Well, he was
What-
doing something with Cleveland until they moved.
What did he do with Matt Castle? What did he do with Matt Castle? 11-5.
season to the playoffs.
11-5.
Yes.
It wasn't 5-11. It was 11-5. When you
Yes.
have a head
But they didn't
coach,
win the Super Bowl. That'd be totally different.
no, you know what? We do anything for an 11-5 season. We do or 11-6 at this
We
point.
do anything for 10 wins in a season. 9
We
and
do
8
anything.
Do anything.
If-
Like
if- If I recall, our best years and further in the playoffs has been with a defensive coordinated coach.
Because that's all we've
True.
had. From
Huh?
that's all we've had. That's all we've had.
But we
Vince Wood.
still we have Joe Walton. You don't remember Joe Walton?
Bruce
I'm saying
Coslett,
under Woody.
Bruce Coslett,
I'm saying under
Rich
Woody.
Kotite.
Rich Kotite,
I'm not saying the
Al Groh.
pre.
Al Groh.
I'm going to throw up.
It's who can run the team.
Yeah.
I'll make you
I'll-
throw up, Dan. Adam
the-
Gase, Adam
the-
Gase, Adam Gase, Adam Gase.
The
That was Chris Johnson.
diarrhea
when
now.
he was overseas, and that was Peyton Manning as well.
and what made Parcells special was his coaching staff.
Right.
And taking no shit
Tremendous
from nobody,
coaching staff.
and not taking shit from anybody.
Well, that's fine, but that's part of being the head coach. But his staff was elite.
Right on point, Joe. Right on point.
Okay.
Right there. Exactly. Like it's
Flores ain't
just-
coming here for a DC job
That's true.
who?
if he loses at the head coach.
Flores ain't coming for DC job.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Maybe
He'll
assistant
stay
head coach.
there.
I'm starting to
He-
warm
he-
up
he
to
would
McCown
stay where he's at.
as OC though. But
That's the
if
one that
we are-
bothers me a bit.
If we
I
are going to
agree,
go with a
Alfred.
first-time head coach, I want a proven offensive coordinator.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
So I will say
yes.
that, and
Yes,
just like, and not only that, it's just McCown doesn't have enough coaching experience. He's only been
2
what-
years as a QB coach.
Yeah.
And in
I love-
two different teams.
I love McCown. I'm not ready to roll the dice on him yet. Some
And I
people are
gotta
saying that he
see-
should be
and-
head coach. I'm like,
Now,
Someone
I
mentioned
got to
that.
see what he does with if McCarthy is the quarterback next year for Minnesota. Let me see what McCown does with him.
Yeah.
but
Then
but
again,
ju-
Liam Cohen was
Yeah, exactly.
one. This
But
was
we
his
haven't put
first
in an
year.
interview for him yet. Not
No, but this was
I'm-
his first
I'm
year as
I'll
an
get
OC
there.
for Tampa.
Yeah, I'm in Tampa right now. I'm getting there. Don't worry.
Yeah.
You know,
He's
it's
getting there.
coming. I'm working on it. You know, but just to get back to the point, like Robert Saleh said that like the X's and O's. I don't really like to quote him, but the X's and O's was the easy part. Being the actual head coach, going from meeting to meeting and just like all the planning, all the behind the scenes stuff. He's like, that's kind of what was the hard part. So it is just so important, whether it's an offensive guy, a defensive guy, the mascot, I don't care what his background is, where he came from. You need a good staff around you, no matter what. And that's something that we haven't had here in years. I mean, Adam Gase had Dowell Loggins, and then we had Nathaniel Hackett, Matt LaFleur. Ulbrich, I think, he grew. I think he did improve. He's obviously not ready for a head coaching job, but it's been, going back Jeremy Bates and Dan, we had this conversation last night about former offensive coordinator. They need a proven guy, and it's not Nathaniel Hackett. Like, yes, he has that head coaching experience, but not even a full year. And Hackett, he's just no good, even with Rodgers this year. Whatever the case is, I think maybe his offense is just outdated or something.
Yes, that's
It's
But
not
can I
green.
interject there? Like, yes, I get it that we want an experienced offensive coordinator, but it's the luck of the draw sometimes. Like, look at Ben Johnson. Who was Ben Johnson? Now all of a sudden we want him as head coach. We want him. Same thing with Mike LaFleur. He sucked. But then enter Mike White. The guy threw for 400 and plus yards.
432
having the right-
yards his first game.
But it's about getting the right quarterback, the right offensive coordinator. It has to work. Honestly,
It has to have talent. You have to have talent.
but he also has to have a brain too.
No, but I'm saying, yeah. Now,
I think
Mike
they
LaFleur
do.
had good. He had good plays. He just didn't develop the quarterback. But we
Right.
realized later that the quarterback had nothing between his ears. So that was a different
Just
story.
to answer this question, they do until the new coaching staff comes in and cleans
Yeah.
house.
and general manager.
Yeah,
In general,
they let those guys fire them.
Yeah.
This way you don't have an empty house. Doesn't look like you
Yeah,
have
Woody lets them do the dirty work.
exactly.
Right.
Just like
It's
he
just
left
it's
Ulbrich
like
in the
today
meeting.
with Telesco from the Raiders. 2 days
See,
ago,
now
he
that's an
fires-
interesting one though,
Mhm.
because now you can go. Brady can go to Rabel and say, "Hey, you want to pick your GM?"
Right.
I would love for that to happen. I would love for the Raiders to sneak Rabel off of the.
Can I ask you a question though, Afram? Do you
Yeah.
think Brady's really going to do that to Kraft?
I think he gives a shit about Kraft.
He don't care about Kraft.
That's- He
No,
has his own
no,
team now.
he doesn't
What's
care.
he care about Kraft?
He
at this
couldn't
point?
care less.
He's 3,000 miles away.
He
Enjoying
reached out to
life.
Belichick. He reached out to Belichick. Brady wants to win. Brady doesn't care about feelings. Wherever he's at, he wants to win championships. And not for nothing. If he gets a chance to hire Bill Belichick, the greatest human being in sports of all time. Now he's the boss of his ex-head coach.
That is pretty
Amazing.
cool. That's pretty
Amazing.
cool.
Amazing.
You can
He is
yell
the
at
greatest
him now.
quarterback ever. He is.
Do
Hands
you
down.
think he would give Bill the GM duties as well?
Yep. The whole thing. The whole thing.
Well, that's gonna
I
end in
don't-
disaster.
I don't know about
That's
that.
gonna end in disaster.
If it
That's
does
what I
for them,
want.
who cares? Like we're Jet fans, you know. Like
It's
ah,
the
look at them
Raiders and they'll
sucking.
raid.
Yeah, the Raiders are gonna Raider, you know.
Ugh.
But that's like us. Like imagine like we had like an ex quarterback as our owner. You know, like well, for us it's different because I think anything would be really an upgrade, but not by much. And we also don't have that like prove. You know, like I don't know. It's maybe we could call him like Fitz or something. You know, he's like a Jets legend somehow. A journeyman quarterback's the Jets legend.
Whoever they bring in, the most important thing is who they bring with them.
Right.
hmm Yeah, it's a complete staff.
Yeah, it has to be competent staff,
Yes.
and I want guys that have experience, and not my buddies that that was my best man at my wedding.
Oh my God.
You
You're
know?
right. Ugh. That's so stupid.
Unless your best man's like a real football
Yeah.
guy.
You know,
Still.
I'm gonna say that I think Michael Flores is gonna do well down the road on another team.
I agree.
I think he has the smarts. I think he was too early, and I think Saleh threw it right at him to run the whole thing too early. They should have given him. I'm sorry. They should have given him a seasoned offensive coordinator to start.
Mm.
Well, if you remember, Greg Knapp was supposed to be there. I really wonder how
QB
different.
coach.
And
I
don't
really
think that
wonder
was-
how different the team would have looked. I wonder
Well,
they
the
might have put
difference
him as
would've-
like a
the
senior
difference would've been with
advisor as
Zach.
well. Yeah, I feel like like maybe he would have been like a senior advisor as well. Like he might have had a bigger role than that. Like what met the eye. And actually,
They should have
Who-
kept McCown then.
yeah, they should have. What was the last guy's name? It's skipping my name it's skipping my head for some reason.
For what?
For quarterbacks coach.
Oh, Calabrese.
Calabrese, yeah.
Another one. Yep.
He actually he's actually from like right up the road from where I am. He's a Long Island kid.
Or you could stay there.
Is that good to be on his resume that he's a Long Island kid? So
No,
he's a-
but him and Boomer Esiason went to the same high school. He's tied
This
to it, so.
this has
Okay,
to be
but-
part of the resume too. I mean, no more bald head coaches and GMs because that makes all the difference in the world. Nice, Vinny.
So then that,
Yes.
that takes Dan out of the equation.
Completely. And again, if the coach is fat and he's having success, he cannot lose weight. He
Right.
cannot. That's another caveat.
We're gonna need NYJ Matt to just keep sending burgers, just send food, just,
Exactly. There you go.
Pork
Keep
roll and
eating.
cheese.
No
yeah,
carnivore
yeah,
diet for you.
yeah, he sent that breakfast sandwich to Mike
To-
Williams, just
to
keep
brief
it coming.
where he talks about Rex. Rex has been out for 10 years. Okay, that's a long time. Unless he's going to bring the guys from the first, whatever the show with he's going to bring Greeny and those guys as his coaches.
From Get Up.
Been out of the league for 10 years. How do you expect
a-
anyone
There's
to
a
even take
reason,
you
Al.
seriously at that point?
There's a reason why he's been out of the league for 10 years. There's a reason why he's not getting any other interviews
Exactly.
besides us.
I heard.
Didn't he have a shot as a DC for Dallas at one time?
Yes, and
Yeah.
he didn't take it.
Before he took the Buffalo job.
I heard Mike Pettin is also interviewing.
Maybe we should interview Stephen A.
Wasn't Pettin in Cleveland for a while?
He was. He's the head coach. Ugh, disgusting.
I thought it was DC.
He was
No,
he was head
he's right. He
coach.
did. He went as head coach for a little
Yep.
bit.
Now,
But he
what
ended
do
up
you guys?
somewhere else.
No,
Do you-
just
do you-
sticking on Rex for a second. I don't know if you guys listen to Badlands. Connor Rogers had a really good point against Rex yesterday, just saying, what has he done like since leaving the NFL? Like he hasn't, like I sat in with the Chiefs, like during the playoffs last year and like, interviewed them and like picked Andy Reid's, like he's done nothing. And Connor Rogers was saying, especially like during the season, like it's so hard to focus on like other things and just learn things when you're on TV as often, and Rex is on every day or whatever
I
it is.
think
Every
this was he thought this was his only shot to get back into football.
Right.
because of
It-
Woody and being that former
Yes.
head coach, and it's the Jets in such a bad situation. He can move in and with his bravado, but he
He hasn't done
came
anything
at a
to
time
better
when he
himself.
inherited a good team.
Yes. And once
Okay.
it became his team, that's when it fell apart. And it did end really ugly here. I remember like being like 14, like, can't we get rid of this guy? You know, like
You don't
I-
have to tell me age when you were 14.
Right.
I mean, really.
well, I'm saying like as like a dumb little kid, you know, like I was able to see, well, sorry, you're old. I don't have to tell you, you know, but
Wow. Harsh.
Dude, this guy here that I'm watching with Penn State, Abdul Carter, if he drops to 7, which I highly doubt, because again, the Jets are the Jets, and
You
they
never
had a
know.
win. They had a win. They had a win last week because that's what you do, right? You go out there and you have this epiphany because you sucked all year and you win, and you got some fans. Yeah, that's what you do. They're nuts. They're crazy, man. Again, it's so deflating. We could have like the 5th pick, or we could have at least been in play. Yo, that's a game changer, man. That's like a Myles Garrett type of pass rusher, which I would love to have. But
Well, he might be available.
he's not going to drop there. He's not going to drop.
You never know.
No,
I'm
because
I'm not talking about Carter. I'm talking about Garrett.
Yeah, but we have no
There's
money.
some things happening in Cleveland, you know.
Yeah, but we got no money. That's the thing. The Patriots are going to get someone like Carter.
Oh, Dan, you just brought up the Buffalo Jet fan. How about Brock Purdy? And now you're telling me there's no money.
Brock Purdy for 3 years. Yeah, man.
He's not going to take a 3-year deal, Dan.
You pay him in
He's
pizza.
going to want the Dak
He's skinny.
Prescott contract.
That's
He's looking at $58 to $60 million a year for Purdy.
Brady's a system quarterback.
Yeah, so the hell with him. I'd rather trade that pick to JJ for JJ McCarthy. Now you know what? We're gonna shake something up here because this guy that I'm bringing up, he's got a bone to pick with me for like broadcasting his phone number. What's up, Vinny?
Yeah. You went full Manish Mehta on Joe Douglas.
You don't believe me that bald head coaches are no good? Go talk to Antonio Pierce. Ask him how his day went.
What about Matt Nagy? He's going to be our head coach. You know it. You know it. Matt Nagy is going to be the head coach of the New York Jets.
Yeah, that fucking guy. Liam, I have to call you out on what you said that you didn't like when people say, oh, you can't hire the guy because he's defensive minded. You know, if they end up with Aaron Glenn, which I fully expect them to hire Aaron Glenn, just because of the Jet connection, which I could care less about. That, like I said earlier in the chat, that will be 6 coaches since Parcells. First-time guys, all defensive-minded. I mean, how many defensive coaches have won Super Bowls in the past 20 years? 2? Pete Carroll and Belichick. And on top of that, what's the Jets' Achilles heel? They never score any points. They never score any points. Every Jets game I watch, it's like 17-13, 20-10. Like, if you want to compete with KC, Buffalo, the Chargers, the Bengals, you have to score 35 points a game or you're losing. It's just, that's what the NFL is today. It's offense. It's a pass-happy league.
Yeah, but like you're not just hiring him for his defense. You're hiring him like the way that he holds the team accountable. Like you're hiring him for head coach duties. You gotta, no matter what, you could say like, yes, like the Jets, and they did. The Jets have had X amount of defensive coaches. How many good complete staffs have the Jets ever had? Well, you know, like how many guys have gotten like jobs elsewhere? They like, you know, a coordinator that's moved on to a head coach, or you know, like that's the thing. It's like you got to put a good team around them. You got to, it's got to be a supporting cast. One guy can't do it. And like I said, like I'm not saying by any means that Saleh did a good job, but he had a point when he said X's and O's is easy. I can go be a defensive coordinator and kick ass anywhere. But when I got to sit here and I got to like just do all the behind the scenes stuff, he goes, that takes a lot of time away where like I'm away from
hire an assistant. They got so many.
That might have been Ulbrich that said that. I think it was Ulbrich, but whatever the case was, it's a learning curve. And that's kind of the thing about why I hold on for a second. That's the reason that I don't want a first time head coach, but like you got to start somewhere. Like I wish it wasn't here. I wish we had more of a proven guy, but find a way to get a good staff around. And the thing with Aaron Glenn, he knows a ton of people in the NFL. He's been around forever. He's highly respected. He might be able to make a couple phone calls and be like, let's really turn this thing around. I am a New York Jet through and through. So, you know, maybe I could work it out with Woody. I don't know what the behind the scenes are, but Figure out a way to put a
He'll be
good
the
staff
Saints head
around.
coach. That's my prediction.
That's what all very valid points. I'm not trying to come at you, but here's my bigger question is we historically speaking have never been able to draft and develop any quarterback. The last one that was homegrown that we all loved and appreciated was Chad Pennington.
Yep.
With that said, I would ask Aaron Glenn, okay, show me your track record of quarterbacks that you've been able to develop. Oh, well, it's a defensive guy. I got to learn on the job how to do that, which brings me to my next two questions. Okay, I want to know who your OC is, and I need to know who the quarterback's coach is, because if we're going to do this thing we did with Sal, with first-time OC, drafting a rookie quarterback, first-time QB coach, at some point we have to draft a quarterback, whether it's this year or next year,
Yes.
because Rodgers can't play forever.
But it's a little contradictory, no? Like you
You're-
want John Gruden, right? You want John Gruden. John
Yes.
Gruden has never developed a young quarterback, ever whatsoever. Now I'm going to pose something to you, and I want to know your reaction to this. If you had the choice between Aaron Glenn and Joe Brady, who would you pick and why?
Just
Who
me
you
now?
talking to?
Yes, Vinny.
Brady. I'll take a chance on Brady because we haven't gone with the offensive mind in forever. And I don't want to hear about Adam Gase. Adam Gase wasn't a coach. He was just
The
a
offensive
douchebag.
guru?
That was a crash and burn from the start. I never believed it.
But we knew he was terrible going into it. I don't know what
You
Joe
talking about
Brady
this guy?
is as a head coach.
That's the guy.
Yeah, that fucking guy. I want to punch him in his face.
I screwed up
Would
my
you
hat
would
now.
you take Aaron Glenn as head coach and Doug Peterson as your OC?
I think I would.
And Ron Rivera as your defensive
No.
coordinator?
It is.
And Rex is your cheerleader.
No.
Here's
No?
here's a better question asked the front office. How come the Jets aren't interviewing any one of the likes of Liam Cohen or Todd Monken or, like you just said, Joe Brady? Why aren't any of these guys getting an interview?
You don't know how
Possibly
many.
they're being told don't bother.
Right.
Exactly.
But hey, there's nothing you can do. Aaron Glenn said no to the Patriots.
He said no to the Patriots offer because I fully believe he realizes it would be a sham interview. You saw what they
but
did to
still.
Leftwich and Pep Hamilton.
They just don't want to come here. They're looking for the prime situation.
Cohen did say that he's letting his agent handle all his interview stuff. So maybe the agent told the Jets no, unless they didn't call. But I'm waiting for them to interview. I legitimately thought a few days ago why they didn't go after those guys, Vinny, was because those guys are in the playoffs and getting ready to try to get the wait to next week.
Anyone else call Liam Cohen?
No one. But
No.
now let me
There's also rumor that Bowles may retire after this year too, which means
Yeah.
he'll take that position.
I have a Bucks fan at work that wants Bowles fired.
The
And
whole
I know
team
he
wants
said
him
that a
fired.
lot of Bucks fans
I think
want
everyone
Bowles
wants
fired.
Bowles fired.
No, he sucks. He was a terrible coach.
the worst.
I
in the
always,
playoffs.
I always reference that the Patriots game. I'll never forget. I knew he wasn't the guy. We were losing 42-0. It was the fourth quarter, and on 4th and goal, instead of going for it, he went and sent the field goal unit out to opt for the to avoid the shot. I was like, wow,
Fantastic.
it just goes to show what confidence he has.
But now that whole narrative of defensive minded head coaches and offensive minded. Now let's go back for 1 year. Let's say if the Jets were in the same position as the Commanders and we would have hired Dan Quinn, right? And our quarterback was Jaden Daniels. Would you be complaining at this point?
Is Kingsbury the OC?
Yes. Everything the same. Everything
We
that's going on in
would-
Washington.
when he gets hired, we're complaining. Yes.
If that's the case, everything that's going on in Washington, that means we get rid of the owner.
Oh yeah, how could you forget
was done before.
Real good point.
That was during Ron Rivera. Ron
If you
Rivera was
told-
two
if-
times as head coach. The ownership was getting ready to change hands.
So
If
let's
the-
hire
if you told-
Rivera.
If you told me the offense was top half of the league, that's top 16. Yes.
Right?
When
That's
was
why
the last
anything-
time we could say that?
But that's what I'm saying. Anything is possible right now. If you have even a defensive minded head coach and he brings up a great staff, why not? I mean,
Yeah.
you need a legit GM. That to me, that's where you need the most experience. GM. And the GM is going to have to have a sit down with these head coaching candidates and see who's the best for the job. And to me, I don't know. I have no idea who the best guy for the head coach is. I have no idea. My guy was Vrabel. That ship has sailed. It's done. I know, Liam, you're holding out for hope. Vrabel's not
You
going
never
to be
know. You never know.
Vinny, can I ask you a question? Are
Yo.
you eating are you eating a goddamn snack?
Sour Patch
Very,
Kids.
very crunchy.
Sour Patches.
How old
Yeah,
is
they
it?
sound. I
Very
could have sworn
crunchy.
it was like Cheetos or something. Yeah, it is very crunchy. Are they
Yeah.
stale or something? Like,
No, they're good.
You
Yeah.
know,
Alright.
Kingsbury's getting paid almost a head coaching salary. He's got like $5.5 million. Commanders are paying him
yeah.
as an OC.
He's probably
good
still
s-
getting paid from the Cardinals, isn't he? Because they gave him
Probably.
that extension in his final year, and then in the same year they said, "Oh, we screwed up," and they fired him.
Well, the Jets did the same thing with Hackett, right? Like Hackett's get like a paycheck from Denver, and then we like numbnuts. We go and we give him extra cash to be an offensive coordinator.
That
for a
was
year.
just to lure Rodgers here. That's all that was.
Yeah,
That
he'll never
that
have
was
a job in the
warfare.
NFL ever again.
He's
Him and Gase could, maybe go at it in high school or something.
It's one of
middle
the
school.
worst things, man. Like, I just
That's-
want competent football, man, with the Jets. That's all we want, right? For 2025, 26. What year are we in? Like, it seems like it's the same year
We're in
every
20
single time.
We're in 25, but the thing is, I think it's almost safe to say 25 is going to be a throwaway year when you have to bring in the new coach, the GM, implement your scheme. There's going to be growing pains. I'm looking already ahead to 26 for them to compete.
The thing too, like getting back to like the coaches, it's like, like the offensive coaches that we have hired, like, have they really, it's really, it's the Jets. Like, I hate to say, that's what it is. Like,
Well,
it's a cheap answer, but like,
Yeah, but how
I've
many have we
never-
had, Liam? Like, I'm old. Me and Dan and Afram, we're all older than you. But I mean, I saw Gase, and before that, it was Richie Kotite, and I think the furthest back I remember was Bruce Coslett.
and none of them worked out either.
No, none of them. And I'm not old enough to remember Joe Walton, but those are the offensive guys we've hired.
I remember Joe.
How was Joe? How was he?
As an offensive coordinator, he was very good.
Head coach, not so much.
Walt Michaels was his head coach.
No.
Right.
And
I'm
and
talking
he-
about like
he-
offensive. I'm talking about like offensive-minded head coaches, though.
He became the head coach after
Yeah.
Michaels had words with disagreement with Hess.
Right. I mean, Walton had his years.
He had his
in,
good,
what,
yeah. Well,
85, 86.
he had how can I forget his name? O'Brien.
Right.
All right.
Sure.
So he had weapons. He had two good receivers, and O'Brien, and a running back, and offensive line.
But
The
they
offensive
couldn't
line wasn't
protect
that
him,
great,
though.
though.
Yeah, I was going to say that line wasn't that good, though, right? Didn't he get beat up a lot?
He got beat up because he held on to the ball too often. He
Oh.
wouldn't get rid of the ball. Okay, he had a good offensive line. He just held on to the ball too long, trying to make a big play instead of just getting rid of it. And so he got sacked a lot of times. All right, because he had some really good receivers. He had a good tight end. He had a great running back. I mean, they were good. They were loaded in that
Mhm.
offense, but it was just. I mean, he led the league in passing one year.
Will you guys give a shot to Pete Carroll or no?
No.
I would.
But you want someone long term, don't you?
He's
We're
73.
too quick to get rid of guys after 2 years. You want someone that's going to be here for the next 10 years. playing
10
this team.
years.
I'll
He'd be
celebrate his
80.
80th.
Right.
He's
know,
not
we'll-
coming back here. This
we'll throw him a-
organization did him dirty.
We'll throw him a party at MetLife. It's great.
But that wasn't Woody, Vinny. That was
No,
Pryor.
Yeah, that
know
was
it's
Leon.
It was
But
different.
I also
ownership,
think
but
he's
still.
gonna go. He'll go to a team like Jacksonville, Chicago that has a young quarterback. He ain't going to Vegas. He's just taking the interview.
Did you guys see that that Jacksonville interviewed Saleh for their head coaching job?
You could see it.
No, they did.
Yeah, he was an assistant down in Jacksonville.
But
Yeah.
and then today the 49ers interviewed him for the DC position.
That's where he's going.
Yeah,
He's
I
probably
think he's
going back there. Shanahan
Yeah.
is still there. It'll be like he never left.
Mhm.
Yep.
Exactly right.
And that's where he
He
belongs.
go back there for
Right.
1 year because I could see next year them being on the hot seat, Lynch and Shanahan.
So he takes over the 49ers after that.
Man, I really wish we could
Yeah.
have gotten Shanahan, man. That's one guy I wish we would have gotten. There's no way.
Does anybody else here believe that the 33rd team is taking advantage of Woody Johnson? Like every single one of these interviews that they're doing, they're charging him thousands of dollars to do the interview, write up a report, suggest why to or not to hire the guy. And like we've known we've needed a new head coach since week 5. Why is this taking so long?
We don't know.
Maybe they're
Woody
making him
says-
go. Maybe they're trying to
maybe
make him
Woody's
go
telling
broke.
him to look at everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, some of these guys they're in it. I mean, they're just pure losers. Like, you know that they're wasting their time doing the interview.
But who's out there that's an actual winner, Vinny? Like,
Yeah, there's a
Carroll would
reason
be
they're
the
getting.
winner.
And you know what? I don't know. I've seen so much bad football. I don't know what a winner is.
But you could also be interviewing them when they don't get a head coaching job, and bring them in as a coordinator if they're that good.
That's another
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, if the 33rd team can replicate what, again, I got to bring them back into the equation, Washington. Nobody, like, honestly, nobody wanted Dan Quinn as head coach. He would go there for an interview, this and that. But they felt with their analytics and whatnot, that's your guy. And if you can somehow draft Jane Daniels, you can have yourself a winner. And also get your staffing right. They got Kingsbury. That's where I kind of side with Liam on this, is because, yes, I would love an offensive-minded head coach, but if you got a leader of men that is talking to the team as well, not a Salah, like going up and down the sidelines, talking to nobody, no playbook. That's what aggravated me the most with Salah. There was nothing. There was no jargon. There was no, yo, get your head out your ass type of mentality. There was nothing like that. Glenn gives me a lot of that Rex Ryan vibe too. That where he will get into the faces of players and say, you got to turn it up to a certain point, like I see that in him. But again, I see someone like maybe Joe Brady who might come in and level up, and maybe he might be the guy for you, Vinny, and for Jets Nation. Who knows? I think
He's
Bird's out.
is he the OC in Buffalo right now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Since
Yeah.
last year.
Well, I mean, look at it this way: you're getting your new head coach, and you're hurting the Bills in the process.
Right.
Well, to be fair, I thought that once Brian Dable left, I thought that was going to hurt Josh Allen, and I got to give him his flowers. He's a really good quarterback.
He's
Yeah.
developed. Dable developed him well, and now Brady's getting the taking advantage of a good quarterback, and he's just
remember,
giving.
Joe Brady took over for Ken Dorsey, who got fired.
Joe Brady had a really nasty offense when he was at LSU. That's
Let
what made
me-
him really popular.
Let me throw a wild card here.
Another one.
Yep, because no one's talking about this.
Is it Mike McCarthy?
Nah, better.
I could warm up to him.
Think of this.
We would have to wait till January 14th next week.
There's always surprises and upsets in the playoffs all the time, no matter what, right? The Jets against the Chargers,
I know where you're going with this.
yes.
I know where you're
Denver,
going with this.
Jacksonville Jaguars against the Broncos with Mark Brunell and Elway. Who's to say with a legit head coach that the Denver Broncos have with Sean Payton? I know you guys are going to shake your head. No way. They pull off the upset, and the Bills, knowing that they need to get that next level, they fire Sean McDermott. And they go after someone
I'm
like,
on.
I don't know, Ben Johnson. Now, if McDermott is out there, proven, he's a proven head coach, would you guys take a shot at Sean McDermott? I would.
I would.
I bring him in for an interview, but
But what?
I got a better name for you, Dan. Can I just spin it real quick? Same situation, but Mike Tomlin.
I
No,
heard
you have a
that
better
right-
shot. You got a better shot of McDermott being let go than the Pittsburgh Steelers, who know that franchise. They don't make mistakes.
But
they
haven't been finishing.
A lot of Steelers fans are fed up with Tomlin.
Yeah, dude.
If he loses this wild card, they're going
I
to want
think
him out.
You think so?
They wanted him out last year.
It gets stale after a while.
I
Whether
think
he's a
they're
good
gonna-
coach or not, it gets stale.
I
See,
think they're getting
we've-
blown out this weekend by Baltimore. I really do.
We've sucked so long that we're just willing to get into the playoffs, but teams that are in the playoffs year in and year out, you want to get to that next level.
Right.
But,
I'll
Mike,
take the guy
Mike
who throws
Tomlin
the
is-
peanuts at me.
Yeah, but Mike
at the
Tomlin's
stadium.
never had a losing season. How many losing seasons have we dealt with? How many 10 plus game losing seasons have we dealt with?
I wonder who's had
You know?
has Tomlin had more winning seasons, or have we had more losing seasons?
He's had more winning seasons.
Yeah.
He's had more. I would. I would call
I
the
don't think
Rooney's.
he has a losing season.
Never.
I
Yeah.
say
I would
something?
call
This is
the.
a
I
hot
would call
take.
the Rooney's up. I would offer our first round pick and Sauce Gardner. I wouldn't.
I would do
blink
that. I would
either.
do that. I would do that. But see, like I kind of like what Sauce said. Like he's a Jet. You know, I want to be here long. Like yes, he said all the right things, but it's better than
He
like what
also
DJ
wants.
Reed's
He also
saying.
wants to get paid. Don't be fooled. He sucked this year, and everybody knows it.
He could go get paid somewhere else though.
I don't think that you would have to give up a first for Tomlin. If they don't see eye to eye, they're just going to let each other go
Cut
on
their
separate
ties.
ways.
Yeah, but the Steelers historically
that
speaking, they
ownership
don't
group is
fire
very
coaches.
stubborn.
They've
If
had,
you're-
they've
if-
had three
Stubborn.
coaches.
It'll be a
They've had three
mutual
coaches.
agreement
Yeah.
release.
If you're trading for a coach, Vinny, I agree 100%. You know, get like McVay in the building or something.
McVay, I think, would take 2 firsts.
He ain't coming to New
McVay
Jersey.
ain't leaving the Rams.
No,
No,
he's
Los
not.
not.
Angeles is too nice. Trust me, his wife is. You ever see
Well,
his
not
wife?
now.
Not now.
Yeah, not now. Not right now.
Yeah.
Praying for
horrible.
LA.
Hot
Yep.
take:
Yeah.
if we were to get Tomlin, I think Russell Wilson is here with us next year.
No,
No, I don't think Russell Wilson's there no more.
no. I don't think so. You know,
Anyway,
but that's
Armand,
the
you
thing.
were gonna spin that you said.
Oh
right?
yeah.
What happened?
You're gonna
You're
spin
gonna
it.
spin. You're spinning stuff.
Oh, if McDermott was to get fired, they wouldn't go after Ben Johnson. They would promote Joe Brady.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think they would.
Josh
They would go
Allen,
that
yes, they
route.
would. If
I
Josh
think they
Allen
would.
told
I
that
think they
ownership
would want to
group
get a
promote
different
Joe
voice
Brady,
in the
They
room.
would listen to him.
They wouldn't go that route. I'll tell you why. Because if they want to get to the next level,
If the
they don't.
quarterback says so, they're going to bend over backwards.
No. I don't think so because if you want to get to the next level, Armand, you don't stay with the same staff. You go and get Ben Johnson. Now, to me, if I had to choose, you guys are going to kill me on this
You
one.
can,
Tomlin or McDermott?
Tomlin.
I would go with McDermott, and I'm going to tell you why. The reason why is because he at least groomed the quarterback, right? He groomed him. He got the right staff around him. The Steelers. Who did Tomlin groom? Who did he? Who? After Roethlisberger, it was a done deal.
He didn't
Shuffling
even really
quarterbacks in
groom
and out.
Roethlisberger.
He didn't
That was-
groom him.
That was
He was
He didn't-
established.
no, he didn't
What's his
draft
face?
him. Coward
He
drafted
didn't.
him.
Coward.
Yes. But McDermott, with his staff, they made this amazing phenom in Josh Allen a franchise quarterback and a top 3 quarterback.
that's why they would make Joe Brady the head coach and not
They
bring
wouldn't.
in a new head.
They
Well,
wouldn't.
Joe-
I
yeah,
could
Joe
put
Joe
money
Brady
on it.
Inexperienced and
Joe
Ben
Brady
Johnson-
didn't groom Josh Allen though. It's kind of unproven what Joe. Well, no, Joe Brady's done a good job. You know, like they don't have that number 1 wide receiver. You know, like Diggs is
It's the
maybe Amari
third
Cooper,
OC
but that's
under Josh
Dude.
Allen. It went Dable, it went Dorsey, and now it's Joe Brady.
yeah.
And that's
That's
it.
3 OCs under Josh Allen.
Right.
Dable left because he got a head coaching job,
Yeah.
and Dorsey got
was
fired because he
fired.
sucked, and it just proved that he got fired by Cleveland.
I'm
They're
going to
gonna
agree to
promote-
disagree on that one.
promote Joe
Some,
Brady
I
the
think
head
something
coach.
will give in Buffalo if they don't win one this year. Something will give.
Well, if they get to the division round and championship round, I think everybody comes back. But if they get booted this Sunday, it's a wrap. McDermott is out.
I see
I'm
them
telling
going to the conference final.
I think, yeah, that's
You
the
see them
common
losing
narrative.
to Kansas City again?
See if
Yeah, it
Kansas
could
City
happen.
gets there.
That could
Yeah, I
happen.
mean, like Mahomes is kind of having like a very average year. Like it's really the defense that's carrying that team. Spagnuolo, which is actually, I think the Jets interviewed him, or we're going to. He's somebody I don't want to touch. I'm not going to touch him
I
with
don't
10
touch
foot.
He's
Yeah.
not bald either.
He's not
He's not bald.
He has a mustache.
They interviewed him in the rec cycle back in 2009, if anyone remembers that.
Yes.
That was when he
That's-
was the hot-handed coordinator with the Giants, at the
Giants.
time.
He went
But
to the
remember,
Rams.
yeah, and he went to the Rams and he was terrible.
Ugh.
What do you guys think is like the actual possibility of them actually hiring Rex? Do you think it's
No way.
I
No.
wouldn't be shocked knowing the
Even
Jets,
Tannenbaum.
knowing Woody, knowing he likes headline. I could see Rex going into that room and just start crying and tell them how much he loves the Jets and how he cares about the fans. I just tell you, he's gonna cry and just do exactly what he did last. I would not be shocked, and it'll make me sick. I love Rex. I would love for him to get some type of job with the Jets because he always talks well on ESPN about the fan base and the
Let him
team.
work the
But
concession stand selling snacks. That's what
whatever. But I don't want to see him as our head coach ever again. Ever.
One good thing about Tom.
Coaching staff. I don't want to see him on the coaching staff.
Yeah, but you know what? One good thing about Tomlin is that he always had great offensive coordinators in there. You know, Todd Haley, and now you got Arthur Smith. He doesn't stop at, all right, you know what? We're
Todd Haley
okay.
got
If he
fired.
needs to boot someone, he boots them. If Tomlin gets let go this weekend, I think that's why maybe the Jets they're waiting. They are waiting right now because, again, if the Bills get knocked out by a rookie quarterback, rookie, man. Nobody thought that this kid is going to be this good. A lot of people had, what's his name? This quarterback in the second round. What's his name again? The guy from Oregon. Bonix. Yeah, no. I didn't expect him to be this good. Nobody did. But that's what coaching does.
Do you
We had the
remember?
opportunity to get him.
Let's see what he does in the playoffs.
Do you remember over the summer we were saying that the Broncos have the worst quarterback room in the NFL?
Yes.
Stidham, Bo
Yes.
Nix, and Zach Wilson.
Unbelievable.
God.
Ben DiNucci.
It shows you what a head coach does.
Who's the backup?
Listen, he almost
Zach.
lost. We
Stidham
kicked
and
that
Zach is
field
third
goal.
Yes?
string.
Yeah.
Zach's third string, but who's
Zach
backup
is
to Bo
third
Nix?
string.
Jared
Stidham.
Stidham.
Oh, God.
It's none of them are
Whoa,
great.
whoa, hold on,
But
hold on a second.
offensive-minded coach with
Wait.
experience.
Yeah,
This
and
is-
they barely beat us.
This is sick right now. Hold on a second. If there's any team that could beat the Bills, let's say Knicks goes down, it's Zach Wilson.
That's true. That's true.
Anyone. Mark my
I would-
words. If
I would
Bo
love
Nix goes
that.
down and Zach enters the game, he wins the game. He wins it.
He'll
'Cause
be
again, that's what good
inactive
coaching
QB3,
does.
So you need Stidham to go down.
Throw
But
three
that's where
interceptions.
But that's where a good head coach comes in. He'll say, all right, you know what? He weighed everything. Zach, you're up. Go for it. He
I bet
wins
you
the game.
Zach doesn't even dress for the game, and they dress an extra pass rusher.
No, he's gonna
I
dress.
just said that he'd be the inactive QB3. But you know who might be the backup on Monday night? Daniel Jones.
I was thinking, like, imagine like Sam goes
There's
down,
a
like
report
Daniel
going
Jones
around
takes
that
him to
they
like the Super Bowl.
consider him being-
Didn't
I
Daniel
will
Jones
hope.
beat the Vikings in the playoffs?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
got him his extension.
Oh wow!
That's
I
what got him
forgot.
$40 million.
That's his
Oh,
bread and butter
gosh.
right there.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they're
we'll
still
see.
But
paying
also
him.
having an incompetent owner that chose to sign him instead of and tagging Saquon at the time.
They were in a hard spot though, because like they either had to, like, pay him or like move on from him. Like he just took him to the playoffs, their first playoff berth in a couple of years.
But they had to realize what happened. That was an easy year for them. They were lucky, and they were and they got destroyed.
I think the front office knew and Dable knew that it wasn't just about
Yeah, here we are.
like, they did a good job,
Here we are.
but they were forced to because Mara forced them to sign him to an extension.
Well, they're totally mismanaged because the kid was drafted by Dave Gettleman, then he forced him onto Shane, forced him onto Dayball. Now they're getting rid of him. Now they're going to allow them to pick another quarterback so they could say they finally got their guy. Whatever.
This
better them than
is
us.
the wrong year to pick the quarterback.
Right, and they're not even in a position to be drafting one or two, so it was just stupid all around. Unless you reach an overdraft for a guy like Drew Allard, if he comes out,
He's not coming out. He's not even playing that great right now.
But you know what though? He's the perfect size quarterback. He's big. He's like 6'5".
That's a lot. A lot of rumors are he would go top 3 over Shador.
Yeah,
I'm not impressed with anybody in this quarterback class, to be honest.
I wouldn't draft Shador just for the pure fact that you'd have to deal with his dad as soon as he has his first game where he has a pick 6.
I like Jackson Dart.
We've
I
been
like him
dealing
a
with
lot.
Jeremy Ruckert's dad, like that's a different situation though.
And that's another distraction. So
That guy sucks.
Anybody see Rosenblatt's tweet from this morning about the head coaches, the veteran head coaches, and their records that the Jets have interviewed or are going to interview?
No.
Mike Vrabel, 54-45. Matt Nagy, 34-31. Ron Rivera, 102-103, 2 ties. 76-63-1 in Carolina. 26-40-1 in Washington. Flores, 24-25. Rex, 61-66. 46-50 with the Jets. 15-16 for Buffalo. Arthur Smith, 21-30. Vance Joseph, 11-21.
Oh.
Steve Spagnuolo, 11-41. And Darren Rizzi, the Saints interim head coach, 3-5.
Who interviews somebody's interim head coach? What a disgrace! They're so embarrassing.
Well, to be fair, look what the Raiders did. They kept Antonio
I'll be
Pierce.
surprised if Pierce gets an interview.
The Raiders,
Oh.
look how they drafted what I firmly believe is going to be a Hall of Fame tight end, and then they fired the GM who drafted him.
Yeah,
Because
that
the
was
team didn't
So-
draft a quarterback.
So based on that tweet, do you go after? Do you ask to interview with Mike McCarthy?
Well, the
I-
Bears
I could warm up
lied.
to McCarthy.
I
The
could
Bears-
definitely warm up to McCarthy because you know what? I can't guarantee we'll win a Super Bowl with him, but we'll get much better football to watch. Much
What about
better.
thing is,
Jason
like,
Garrett?
No, I don't want Jason Garrett.
Oh, I don't want Coach Clapp here. No way.
But
He's got a better record than McCarthy.
Does he really?
He does.
Nah,
Well-
it just I have a lot of friends that are Cowboys fans, and that was the one thing they said would infuriate them. Like Dak would throw a pick, and the next thing you see on the side is him clapping his hands.
Well,
Right,
that's not, when you said the
McCarthy,
clap,
have
that's
to
not what
wait
I
for
thought you were talking about.
You have to wait
You
for
Yikes.
the
never heard them call
14th.
Coach Clapp?
Oh,
That's
Coach
just not,
antibiotics.
that's not. Yeah, that's not where my hand went.
Coach
My-
antibiotics.
no, where my-
Hold on a
Cowboys
second.
denied the Bears permission to interview
Mhm.
McCarthy a few days ago.
But that
Yeah.
that just goes to show that means they're going to try to renegotiate an extension with him. They just don't know what it is.
As the
Well, his
ex-Packers
contract is-
coach, imagine
his
him
con-
going to the Bears.
His contract expires on the 14th. So McCarthy could hold out until the 14th and then start taking interviews with everybody else and see how desperate Jerry gets for him.
Well, actually, that's a smart move, Armand, because you know what? If you know all well you want to go to that team, you don't want them to lose draft capital that you end up needing.
It's true.
Let me throw this one at you, if you guys agree. Head coach Tomlin, offensive coordinator Arthur Smith, quarterback Kirk Cousins for the 2025 season.
Nope.
the
And the
quarterback
Falcons
killed.
just said today that they're keeping Cousins as the backup, even though I think they're going to cut him. I think that's just trying to see if a team wants to trade for him.
So
Doesn't he have $100 million contract?
he does?
Yeah, but they're going to take the cap hit. I'll look it up right now.
Yeah.
1 second.
So what are the options out there?
I don't
Tyrod?
know Arthur Smith. Arthur
Yeah.
Smith is garbage.
Tyrod's
You
on the
see what he's
contract.
doing in Pittsburgh right now?
What
That
about
offense
Justin
is not-
Fields?
He
Mm.
sucks.
I know he does.
The reason
He's a
why
good-
he got benched.
Good running back though.
Is there any hope in hell now that the Jaguars have no head coach that maybe they would make Trevor available for trade?
No.
No.
What would you give? Who would
Because
you
that's
give for
you.
him?
You need him to entice a head coach.
Yeah.
But I
right
mean,
now,
the thing is that team has so many issues after him. I mean, what other piece can they offer to stockpile their draft picks?
Well,
Justin.
the issue is
That's-
the positive going to Jacksonville is Trevor Lawrence. The negative is Trent Baalke. If you even look at the statement that Shad Khan put out, he even admits like having the GM here might be a problem. Then fire the goddamn GM.
Yeah.
Well, that's
He
the thing.
passed-
If you're gonna
He
truly
passed
clean
on the
house, you
kid that
can't
went to Detroit.
you can't keep anybody from the previous regime. If you're gonna do it, get everybody out.
That's why I don't see Rodgers staying here. Like a lot of people are thinking, oh yeah, Rodgers may if the head coach. You're getting rid of everything, the entire stench
yeah,
of this
but-
place.
That's going to be up to
Did
the
you
GM
hear
and the
what-
head coach.
Did you hear what Shad said about he took a shot at the Jets?
Who?
Yeah, he
who?
said this isn't Aaron Rodgers 2.0.
Yeah, they asked him if Trevor Lawrence was gonna have say in like the next head coach, and then he said this isn't Aaron Rodgers 2.0.
He's
Oh,
an idiot
mustache
then.
said that.
Yeah,
Do you
Little-
guys remember when in the Gase cycle when they said they had Sam Darnold in all the interviews with all the coaches that they were interviewing, and he
Yes.
said by far and away Gase just was the guy for him.
Oh my god.
I wonder what that interview was like. Like, you think he was like googly eyes for that, or like?
Well, he didn't get mono for nothing.
That's true. That's true.
Or see ghosts.
Yeah.
All right,
Right.
so to answer Vinny's question, Cousins signed a 4-year, $180 million contract. He got $100 million
180
guaranteed.
million.
Jesus.
He got $100 million
God.
guaranteed, $50 million signing bonus.
That
In
guy is
Atlanta.
rated-
In Atlanta?
Actually, a
in
$50
the
signing
NFL.
bonus. Is that what you said?
Yeah, Snickers bar.
They give
There
him
you
a few-
go. Okay, I'll do it.
So, but here it is. If they cut him pre-June 1st, they take a $65 million dead cap with it's in red, $25 million
So he's
cap
gonna
savings.
be there. Bottom line, they're not gonna do that.
Right.
But
Well, they already
if they
benched
cut
him.
him, if they designate him as a post June 1st, a cut, $40 million dead money hit, no cap savings. He's gone. They'll take the $40 million that designated as a June 1st.
Yeah, I mean they already benched him.
They're
That's
not going
why
to keep a $37 million backup because
we're gonna
it's-
be dealing with that ourselves here with the Rodgers money.
Because all it's going to take is, Vinny, is Michael Penix to have 2 bad games, and then people are going to say, is Kirk Cousins coming in? Look at what happened with Fields and Russell Wilson. At the time they benched Fields, the Steelers were 4-2.
Just leave that up for the rest of the show, Dan.
Great hair. Like if anyone could pull that off, it's Brady.
Tom
Kind of looks like
Jones-
Armand a little bit.
Did
No,
you guys
this is
ever
like-
did you guys ever hear that story
Is
of
that-
the car that Mark Davis drives into the stadium every weekend?
Yeah, I hear it's an 01 Corolla.
It's a 97 I forgot what type of minivan, but it's a minivan from 90s. That's how frugal he is with his money.
Wow, smart man.
Who does that?
Mark Davis.
Oh,
Probably has a. His father left him nothing.
Imagine.
it's like the only thing you can
When
afford
you
right now,
when,
you know? You're like,
Alfred, when you see some of the moves the Raiders make, sometimes it makes you wonder if Al is still pulling the strings from the grave.
You never know.
Armand, you should grow your hair. Like you already have the blonde, kind of like what, like that Brady look.
Was that Brady's real haircut?
Yeah.
Or was
No,
that imposed?
That's Davis's hair.
Oh, okay.
Grow it out and like put it to the side. Like remake like a mid '90s punk
Yeah.
band. Shana na 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 na.
Yeah.
One of those. I would love to have Baker Mayfield, but he's under contract, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why
he's
would
not
they get
going
rid of
anywhere.
him?
If we can give up our 7th pick, why not?
Are you nuts? You're gonna
The guy threw 41 touchdowns.
He would throw 41 interceptions the moment he dons the green and white. Yes.
yeah. He's
What's up? Finally, we get to talk, sir.
What's up, fellas?
What's going on, Justin?
What's up?
What are your thoughts, man? What do you think?
Johnny
Oh,
boys.
Johnny Boy's in the house. Look at this. It's a packed house tonight.
The gang's all here.
I was
Thanks for here.
I was in a draft for the playoffs, which I've never done that before. It is the toughest thing I've done in a while on a fantasy football draft.
I was
to
just
let you
getting ready
guys
to
know.
text you too. I was gonna tell you. I was like, maybe he doesn't know that we're on tonight.
What's up, everybody?
How you doing,
Well,
What
John,
Justin?
Johnny?
I believe were
Justin?
you on when Gator was on? Was that you?
Yes.
It was, right?
That guy's wild, man. He's the best. I love that guy.
I could have sworn it was you, and then I was like, oh, was it not?
I gotta reach out to him because he's down in Florida by me now. So
All right,
So we
yeah, we'll
need
get
a
him
fresh,
back on.
fresh voice here, Justin. What do you think, man? What do we got going this offseason? Are the Jets going to hit a home run, or is it going to be a Debbie Downer?
It's probably gonna be a Debbie Downer.
yeah, so I don't want to be the Debbie Downer just by saying that, but we're gonna be good. Okay, we have a good.
Okay.
Okay, so let's not diminish the fact that we have a good roster on right now. Okay, the quarterback question, we'll get back to that. Okay, but let's look at the rest of the roster. Okay, led by some good players that are going to be back. Okay, that's the question: is who's going to come back? Devontae, I don't care about that, but I know that Garrett Wilson is still on contract. Soft is still on contract. Brees, Jermaine, they're still on contract. They can request a trade all they want, but they're still here. Okay, so
Reese is the most likely one to get traded because he's going into the last year of his contract, and you're not going to give a running back an extension.
100%. And that's why we drafted Braylon Allen. So we start bringing up Davis, bring up other players. There's plenty of other players that we can draft in the second round if we want to go after another running back, third round. There's running backs we can grab early. All right, but let me tell you something. I'm not worried about the offseason because I'm worried about next year. And next year we're going to implement a new defense, whether it's Rex, whether it's Aaron Glenn, whoever it's going to be. There's going to be somebody in here that's not going to put up with the bullshit of Clemens. That's going to be flexing people or jumping Superfly Snook on people.
Or Macho Man.
That's going to put in a newer system. I want Rex Ryan. Everybody knows that's crap, but a 3-4 defense regardless. Okay, so if it's Rex, if it's somebody else, I want our defense to be schematic where we can hide the blitz, put Quinnen in the middle. I don't care if you're getting sacks. If you're demanding a double team and the other guys are getting sacks, then I'll pay you.
How many players on this team can fit a 3-4 scheme right now? How many? Not every.
The question?
How many players right now on the current roster could fit the 3-4?
All right.
Not many.
There's plenty. Quinnen Williams played under Nick Saban. That was a 3-4 defense. So did C.J. Mosley. Okay, that was a 3-4 defense.
He's
I think CJ is leaving. Honestly,
I don't think he's coming back.
He's getting cut.
Not. Rich said it last night in our space on the Jet Lounge that he's not. He wants to come back. Okay, maybe his neck is screwed up,
but that's up to the GM and the head coach that are coming in here.
That guy's a dog. He
doesn't matter. They want to bring in their own guys.
He wants to be here though.
Just because you want to be here, big deal.
There's a culture change going on here, bro.
There's somebody named Rex Ryan that
know
wants to
the
be
culture
here.
is shit, and I don't trust anybody coming in, and I don't trust anybody leaving.
So then why are you watching?
Well, no. Armand brings up a good point. If you bring in the GM, obviously this has not worked out with the players that we have here. Great, we have a great core here, but if you have a GM and a head coach that sees things their own way, keep in mind again with the whole. Remember when we had Jonathan Vilma here? Excellent, great middle linebacker, but he did not fit the scheme. Henceforth, we went all in with David Harris out of Michigan. We traded Vilma, I think, right? We traded him to the Saints.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I think right now we're looking at this roster way too prematurely. Because honestly, if you're looking at a GM that worked his ass off to get in that position, then a head coach, first timer, and they start trying to fit all these pieces of the puzzle, they might say this. You know what? Quinnen is an excellent player, but we need to revamp this thing, and we have to create more cap space. If we can get maybe 2 second rounders for him, a second or a fourth, and jettison him, they may have to do these things. As much as we might not like it, but this team is going to look completely different starting in September.
I agree with that 100%. My only kickback with that is with the 3-4 defense. Okay, now here's the thing. Now we had back. I'm not going to rehash what Rex did. We know what he did. Okay, but what you can do is you can start scheming the blitzes. Okay, you start getting your linebackers to not play on their heels as much, not to give up the big play, which was Salah's all gas no brakes, but he was playing and not give up the big play. Okay, with somebody like Rex or somebody like, I don't know, Aaron Glenn or somebody who can disguise a blitz. Will McDonald, okay, he's not a big guy. You don't think that guy can stand up in a bunch of plays? Now he can be that third or fourth guy. Now Ken Law's gone. We bring in a big guy. And now you put the 3-4 in Jermaine Johnson. He stood up in Florida State too. So you can start putting these guys on the edge at a stand-up and play linebacker at a bigger position like Calvin Pace. That's what the defense that we've been doing is putting Sauce in his zone. Put him on a one-on-one on their wide receiver one like Rex used to do and say, let's disguise the blitzes and go after their quarterbacks. That's what wins. I'm sorry, man. That's what won against Josh Allen every time. You put the pressure on him, it always worked.
But see, this is the thing, right? And yes, you bring up good points with the pressure and whatnot. But when you have players on the roster right now that's eating up a lot of cap space, and there's a possibility to let them go, and where we're at 7, if we can get a player like this right here, just check out this play. It just happened not too long ago. Just check it out.
What number am I looking at?
All of them.
Number 11. 11 is.
I love that.
He's a beast.
Yeah, Abdul Carter's number 11. He's a monster.
A monster. That's what the Jets need. They need a game changer on the defensive line. We don't have that. We do not have a game changer like I'm going to even say it. John Abraham would change games there. He was a pass rusher, right, pure. Will McDonald, is he that? I could see him leveling up for next year, definitely. But I do see a lot of these other players that we have here as a core, they're going to be leaving. And again, no one is safe. No one. That's one thing that we have to completely come to grips with. And I'm talking, and I hate you guys might hate this. Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner, Brees Hall, all these great young players, they're all out there. And it all depends on who we get on GM and head coach. Yes, I would love to have Garrett Wilson for the next 10 years. Definitely. But he may ask for a big-time deal this offseason, and we may not be able to afford him. He can garner another first-rounder. Thoughts?
I think Garrett's the one guy I want to keep. 100%.
Agreed.
But
Because if you're
their
drafting a
options have to be
quarterback
picked
this
up.
year or next year, what talent does he have to throw to? That's a
Yeah.
sure thing.
Do you guys think Devontae's going to be here next year?
No.
No.
Talk about money. If you have Devontae and all Rodgers, you have money to pay Garrett. Okay, but
Yeah.
Yeah, but by the time this team's going to win, his contract's going to be up.
Hey, question. What about that kid, Tyler Warren, if we implemented him and get a tight end like that with that type, 6'6", 245 pounds, if I'm not mistaken?
Where is he projected to go in the draft?
Maybe around 11, 12.
See that if he can give us the same production as Brock Bowers did with the Raiders, by all means, sure. I was never high on tight ends, but if that's what it takes, he's another weapon, by all means.
I was never high on tight ends either until I saw what Brock Bowers was, and I was huge on getting them to draft him.
Yeah, but he wasn't. Vinny, you know, Rodgers wasn't going to throw him the ball.
Armand,
He
what
wasn't
was your
gonna do that here?
what was the name that you just suggested in the draft? Was that you?
Johnny.
It was me, Tyler Warren.
Oh, Tyler. Okay. What about Jack Beck? I think his name is
the other tight end from.
I think isn't he a receiver?
Hey, what about McMillan? McMillan's gonna be there.
Yeah.
6'6", 6'6".
I don't think tight end is our biggest pressing concern. I think it's going to be our defensive line
stays.
edge.
what about Michael Williams? I mean, we're going Mason Graham. I mean, if you want to start going defensive line, those are the guys.
I mean, you're right. And if you're talking about the kid out of Georgia, Walker Williams, if I'm not mistaken, he could switch into that 3-4, like you were stating earlier. He looked really good against Dame and all that as well. So there's I don't know, man. It just depends upon who
copying what the Chargers did when they took Alt and they have Alt and Slater, and you take a kid like Will Campbell to be the new right tackle, and you got Fashanu and Campbell as your two offensive tackles next year.
I would take it.
An ABT over to tackle and drafting a guard. It's a little easier to grab somebody in the draft at a guard and see him with ABT. He's obviously been moved around. We don't want to injure guys. I'm not a fan of moving guys on the offensive line for injury purposes. But
ABT, I would say, he could be a surprise guy that gets, traded because, you really want to give him an extension.
Is that Warren?
Yeah, so this just happened, and it seems like pass interference is infecting college football as well. Do you guys think this is pass interference?
Number 0, but I think it's number 8, Schuler, who never at any point turns around to try to make a play on the ball. That's a good call by the official. The Notre Dame fans hate it,
Yes.
but you cannot make contact with the receiver and not turn around and try to make a play. I know Kaiser's waiting for the interception, but that's the correct call against Schuler.
You guys think that was pass interference?
Yes, because the one guy is not looking at the quarterback and the ball.
I don't know, man.
Hey, question, guys. I wanted to ask you guys. Real
Yeah,
quick.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't see any contact.
I hate it when the announcers just give in. There's never like pushback. They're like, I mean, the freaking player could stab someone. Yeah, that player 24, he deserved it. Like, there's never controversy.
Sure.
Hey, so quick question, right? So I know a lot of the talks have been a lot of the defensive coaches and stuff like that, which it seems like those are the better fit ones or whatever that it might end up coming to us. I know Vinny is not because he wants offense and all that. So I say that to say this, right? If we end up going with an Aaron Glenn, a Flores, Rabel, et cetera, right? So we would want a really good OC out there. What are some OCs that you, pairing wise, that you would think would be able to fix? So, for example, Aaron Glenn, if he was to come on over here, right? I would say OC Mark Brunell, who's currently the quarterback coach over there in Detroit.
I like
right?
when you said that this morning on Boy Green.
To be able to go ahead and put that in there as well. So maybe doing something to that. Just wanting to get your guys' thoughts, because there's a lot of upcoming guys that are not being talked about enough yet.
I mentioned Doug Peterson.
I got just one name because I'm actually going to hop off real quick that no one's talking about. Byron Leftwich. He won a Super Bowl in Tampa when Brady was there. He was the OC.
I can't deal with
100%.
him as OC. I can't deal with Mark Brunell as an OC when he's never been an OC. That's like accepting Josh McCown. When Josh McCown's been a quarterback coach for 2 years with 2 different teams.
Just a name. Hey, the guy won a Super Bowl. I mean, it doesn't get any deeper than that.
Vinny, I would take Leftwich over Brunell and McCown.
But Brunell, honestly, I didn't even know Brunell was in the league in any capacity, so that's news to me.
Since 2021, he's been the Detroit Lions quarterbacks coach.
Mm-hmm. The McCown, why no on the McCown and all that? Because he hasn't been a coordinator?
He's just been a QB coach this season with Minnesota and then last year in Carolina.
He had Drake May in high school, was able to help him develop to take him over to the college and all that.
Not college, and that's not.
I mean, he's been rocking with them since.
I would take Doug Peterson as OC with Aaron Glenn.
Yeah,
I can't take a McCown that hasn't been a coordinator.
I just want guys that are more innovative right now, that are be able to go ahead and implement the way the actual NFL is changing
But how do we know McCown
offense.
and Brunell are going to be innovative? We don't know what type of offensive they would run when they've only been quarterbacks coaches.
I mean,
and I'd have to see next year with McCown as a QB coach if McCarthy is the Minnesota quarterback and can he help develop him?
What if he's the Jets quarterback?
McCown's helped develop Sam Darnold, bro, for a minute
Sam
now.
Darnold's a veteran right now at 27 years old.
Bro, he's been with Sam Darnold. He did the same.
Kyle Shanahan.
He did the same thing with Jalen Hurts before coming on over here as well. I mean, you got to give at some point. You got to give people a chance, man.
Did he develop Hurts when he was a rookie?
Yes, he was over there with Philly as the quarterback coach,
backing up Wentz.
He took over the thing, right?
Yeah, we can't diminish that, man. Like, not for nothing. That combo with McCown and Sam, that was a match made perfectly there. That they gave him every shot. They believed in him. And he completely went into like a franchise quarterback mode right now. Yep. He wins on Monday night, NFC divisional game. If he beats Detroit at the Motor City,
Philly as a player, as like a backup quarterback.
No, I'm talking about Sam Darnold, because it seems like a lot of these arguments of, oh yeah, Sam's a system quarterback, Sam's this, Sam's a vet. Dude, it took him a while. Now he's in Minnesota right now, playing his ass off. And
he's
for
the co-star
anyone,
in the star position.
one second, that the problem is, Armand, you can't let someone like that leave the building and play for someone else and take your chances on JJ McCarthy, an
when
unknown.
You draft a quarterback, that's the person you chose.
No. Well, okay. Where's Lance?
Lance had injury issues for 2 years. And Purdy
Right, now we're making excuses.
And Purdy took the ball by the horns and took the – I mean, Brock Purdy beat out Sam Darnold. You want to get real? He beat out Sam Darnold in San Francisco.
He didn't beat no one.
What was Kevin O'Connell?
He was given the starting quarterback position. He earned it. He didn't beat nobody.
But what was Kevin? But what was Kevin? What was Kevin O'Connell prior to him becoming head coach?
An offensive coordinator.
Was he? I thought he was
he is one of the 6 coaches in the playoffs that is offensive minded.
Correct.
Is there a chance, do you think, you guys, that Kevin O'Connell may be on the trade block since there's no extension?
No, that's him and his agents trying to get Minnesota to give him a contract extension.
If the Jets were to call Minnesota and
They're
offer
going to hang up the phone, Dan.
the 7th overall draft pick,
They're gonna hang
Sauce
up the
Gardner,
Hang up the phone.
wait, Sauce Gardner,
Hell no.
They're going to hang up the phone.
and
You want
then
me to
they
be
would,
blunt? They're going to tell you to go fuck yourself.
then they would go with JJ or Sam, and then their head coach would be Ben Johnson.
The Lions would reject them. They wouldn't let Ben get a job
in the division.
They're not going to do that.
So you're saying that the Vikings are
What
going to
if-
keep not going to keep Darnold? Is
What
that
if?
No,
What
I
if
said
we-
they're going to. I said they're going to tag him, and at the combine, when everybody's there, it's like their GM meetings, their winter meetings. Like the everybody's going to talk to them about Sam and about JJ. Whichever one gets them the best offer will not be there.
I agree with that. I
Dan, what if
100% agree with
Dan,
this.
what if we go with everything
I
you
agree.
said and then throw in Rex?
Even Brick, Woody's son?
Yeah, or
Throw in
both.
Woody.
Be like Rex isn't even like on the Jets staff anymore, but he likes us, so you know.
He's a Jet forever.
Yeah, so
I'm
we'll-
just saying, with all these OCs that are there, that were ex-quarterbacks, that were journeymen, that have been to every other team, has dealt with the media and all them other teams, either been in big markets, little markets, right? Have commanded respect, have done stuff, and they've been in the league for a long, long time. They have to know and understand football, a lot of it, bro. They've seen a lot of it, and the constant evolvement that is evolved in football as these guys. We're so like broken with the Jets and stuff like that. We won't even give any of these guys a chance as an OC and all
But
that.
they don't have any experience with it, Johnny. Okay, so
But
going
Sean
into the team-
McVay,
hold on.
Kevin
Hold on.
O'Connell, these guys
Yes,
didn't have the
exactly.
experiences, and they went ahead on a
As
limb
a
and did
as
that.
a OC,
From an OC to a head coach. Well, I want to say what's his name was a QB coach at that, and then jumped up to a head
Hold
coach, if
on.
I'm not mistaken.
hold on.
Yo,
I'm
guys,
gonna
this
get you
this game
some-
is on fire right now. Look, right now, 4 minutes, 51 seconds remaining.
Here we go.
245.
Check this
Here.
out, man.
I got McVay's coaching career. He was an offensive assistant in 08 with Tampa
Oh,
Bay.
he broke his ankles.
Avoided Jalen Reed and scores.
Oh wow.
What an absolute epic of a game.
Under 5 minutes to go.
Wow, man. This is
There's
awesome.
2:45 left,
Yep.
and
It's huge.
Penn State just punted.
Oh,
All right, so getting back to my thing, Sean McVay, 08 offensive assistant Tampa Bay, wide receivers coach in 09 with the Florida Tuskers, offensive assistant 2010 with Washington, tight ends coach 2011 to 2013 with Washington, then the offensive coordinator from 2014 to 2016 with Washington, then then's been the head coach for the Rams since 2017. Josh McCown, quarterbacks coach in 2023 with Carolina, and now the 2024 to now with the quarterbacks coach with the Vikings.
Okay.
He's not an offensive. He doesn't have a passing game coordinator.
But you
job.
don't know that though. That's what I'm trying to say. You're just
And you
throwing it
can't
off
say he
of that.
developed Darnold because I could say that Mark Brunell developed Jared Goff.
I mean, that's what I would say that too. I agree with that
That's
on that.
bullshit. That's goddamn bullshit. That's the biggest.
Jared Goff was going like this before he came on over to Detroit. You know that.
I
he
give
was.
credit more to
That's-
Ben
he
Johnson
was.
than
That's a good point.
Mark Brunell.
that's a great point.
I'm just
Now,
saying.
just want to take a little time out here. I want to thank everyone for listening in, tuning in. If you can, just hit that subscribe button, that
That
notification
subby.
bell, that subby there, that like. It means the world. We're going to be getting some new guests on, some fresh blood and whatnot. So we thank you so much for watching here. So now, you know what? Final thoughts here on this awesome wild card weekend. Who do you guys have? Bills, Denver. Who's winning?
You're really convincing me that Denver's gonna win.
Yes, I firmly believe that.
That's a
And
Bills game. That's a Bills game.
That's
Yeah.
a Bills game, man. That's
That's a Bills
Kincaid all day in that one.
Okay.
I'll take Denver. I actually do think they can win, but it won't surprise me if
Nice.
Buffalo murders the shit out of them.
Right. I love
Josh
it.
Allen just runs them over like the tank he is.
Yeah.
But I'll
All
take
right.
Denver.
So we got Chargers, Texans.
Chargers.
Chargers.
It's tough, bro. I'm so up in the air with that one, but I got Chargers.
Yeah.
There's
then
no
we,
Diggs. There's no Nico.
Tank that. Yeah.
yeah.
Is it
Nico
Nico or
Collins.
Tank that's out?
Now Harbaugh, I feel like
Tank
No,
is out. Tank
think
is
it's
done.
Tank, yeah.
Tank, yeah.
Don't be surprised
Tank's
if
empty.
Harbaugh brings the Chargers to the AFC Championship game. That's the kind of coach he is. He did that with the Niners.
You think
Against
he'll
who?
maybe the Ravens?
Brother to brother.
We saw it in the Super Bowl.
Chargers,
Chiefs-
Broncos,
Chiefs are nothing.
Yeah.
maybe.
It's the Chiefs until proven otherwise.
Exactly. I'm on the same boat with Armand, man.
No, I am
That-
too. I'm just messing around. But
Baltimore 1-5 against the Chiefs in the playoffs. You could all blame Lamar, but remember what Harbaugh said last year at halftime. He said we have to run the ball. The second half they did not run the ball.
Steelers, Ravens.
Ravens.
I'll
Ravens.
take Ravens.
If
What
the Steelers lose, what chances? I'm going to go around the room here. What are the chances that Tomlin gets let go?
None.
slim.
From
It'll be a
saying
mutual.
fired,
It'll
Dan?
be a mutual agreement. Steps
Yes.
away.
Are you saying
Armand?
fired?
Either way, I don't think he'll get fired.
So
the
it's a
Steel-
trade?
It'll be a
No,
resignation.
mutually.
I don't
Mutual let
think
go.
he's not going to resign and he's not going to get fired. If they're going to trade him, I'll say 60-40, but resigning, firing, I'll say 0.
Wow. All right. Now we got Packers, Eagles. That's going to be a good one.
If Watson was there, I would say the Packers, but they lost him, right? And they're
Jalen
injured
Hurts
riddled.
playing?
Yeah,
Hurts
he
is
just
playing.
got to fully participate today, but they're both coming in hurt. Hurts and
Hurt is hurt.
and Love.
What's the injury, Armand, on Hurts?
The
Concussion.
Oh, but that's a concussion, man. He'd be all right.
If the Eagles lose this game, especially sitting down Saquon, that he was so close to breaking Eric Dickerson's record, I
Do we
think
get Sirianni?
Sirianni's gone.
Would you take
I
him as
think,
a head
if
coach?
Sirianni makes a
No.
dumb decision in the game and they
I
lose, he's
would.
fired.
I wouldn't.
I would. I like
I-
Sirianni, man. Dude, I like the fiery guys, bro. Like,
He's
He's an
Bring him in
arrogant
for an
prick.
interview. Yes, I don't know about head coach, as I know some Eagles fans that hate his dumb decisions during in game, especially going for 2 points so many times, and it's
what's his What's their record? His record?
doesn't
guarantee
matter,
you the-
Johnny. You make dumb decisions. That's gonna get
That,
you.
we don't know about winning seasons. What are we talking about? That doesn't matter. That dude does.
If
wrong
he
with you,
makes
Armand?
dumb decisions in the playoffs, why do you want him here?
We've always made fucking dumb decisions. That's
No,
why we
we've
haven't
made
been in the
retarded decisions. We've
we
made
haven't been in
retarded
things
decisions.
for 9 years.
We've made special needs people look like Albert Einstein, the Jets
I
organization.
mean, yeah, I agree with you on that one.
so speaking of bad decisions, who do you guys have? The Commanders or Bubba Gump's Buccaneers?
I want the Commanders to win, so I'm gonna
I want the commies.
I got
So do I.
Commanders, man. Jalen Daniels, bro.
I'm gonna say the Bucks. I kind of want Kings. I want Cliff.
What?
Yeah.
I want Kingsbury as the head coach.
Of the Jets?
Yes.
Didn't he deny it? Didn't he say he didn't
No,
want?
he hasn't gotten an interview yet with anybody else.
Oh,
a lot of guys
Kingsbury.
haven't. Yeah,
Wow.
Munkin,
I like
And Cohen.
Cohen. Yep.
I don't
Yeah.
know if I want him as a head coach.
who's that?
He didn't
Kingsbury?
really.
He did develop and draft Kyler Murray. He did keep to his word when he was asked, like, who would he take prior to him getting the head coaching job at Arizona. He's like, my
Oof.
system runs like with a quarterback like Kyler Murray. I take him number 1 overall.
I
Yeah, we
like
don't have a
Kyler Murray.
quarterback like Kyler Murray, though.
Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, but I don't want him being
Jordan
Kyler Murray. He's
Travis.
gonna. Well, Jordan Travis has one leg.
Oh,
and-
speaking of this, Johnny wants to bring in Justin Fields. Let's see what Kingsbury could do with Justin Fields. that's the type of quarterback.
That is the type of quarterback. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't trust Tyrod to stay healthy. That's the whole
Okay.
thing.
But like I just said, Johnny brought up Justin Fields last week. So if you get
Yep.
Kingsbury and bring in Fields, it's the type of quarterback Kingsbury likes.
Question.
Unless you want to take Shador or Cam Ward
Ugh.
and some cracked pipe dream.
Jackson Dart.
Hey, question for all of you guys. Do you guys think that we would actually have a winning season next year?
No.
I don't know.
I have a feeling.
Exactly.
I got a feeling we are, man.
Listen,
Yo,
Johnny, that's also based on what they do with the roster.
Exactly.
I could see the new GM and head coach coming in and saying, you know what? We're not giving anybody an extension. We are going to pick up the options on Jermaine, Garrett, and Sauce, and we're going to shop them this year and try to get draft picks for the next 2 to 3 years.
so we're gonna have players that are gonna want to play, that are gonna want to be here instead of having all superstars throughout the whole entire roster.
Players
Because that's what
aren't
we were
even gonna get
missing.
a chance to play.
I just the
Yeah.
only reason I say that is because I think this season we're going into the season without those Super Bowl pressure, playoff pressure, and everybody's gonna think that we suck and we're not gonna be doing something. The Commanders did it. You know, nobody expected them to have a season the way they did. And it went on a crazy ass run. Now they did hit on the quarterback, which is true in regards to that, you know, but again,
And the OC that knew how to use them.
Kind of
And
brings me
got
back to like that
McLaren
Rex.
involved.
It kind of makes me think about like Rex on Hard Knocks. You know, last year we were under the radar. It's a good place to be. Maybe next year we'll be under the radar.
Maybe. Now, what about the Monday Nighter? Vikings, LA Rams.
That got moved to Arizona just to let everybody
Yeah,
know.
man.
Vikings, man.
Why couldn't they just put it in
I see the
Minnesota?
Rams winning that.
I see the Rams too. I could see Sam throwing a bad interception.
Nah, not 2 games in a row. Sammy D's gonna go up in this game, man, to show everybody I don't see ghosts anymore, baby.
If you know what, if Sam loses this one, then JJ's off the table. He's off the table completely.
But they already said he's off the. They already said he's off the table, though. The Vikings said that they're not shopping him whatsoever.
No, they could say whatever they want right
That's
now.
for right now because they're
Right
in the
now.
playoffs,
Yeah.
Johnny. But like I said, if you know Sam gets tagged and teams are offering them a boatload for either one of them, they will trade one of them.
I'm saying the
I
Vikings
think they
win
will
that
trade
game.
Sam more than JJ because they chose JJ because teams prefer their draft picks over a free agent quarterback they bring in.
I want to expand on that with what Armand is saying.
Didn't McCarthy have 2 knee injuries?
It's all right.
Already?
Yes and no. One ACL and the other one was a meniscus. The meniscus is what sidelined him this year. Basically, there's two procedures to go on about it. Either cut it out, whatever is like dangling, or suture it, meaning like just with like a needle and a thread, whatever.
Suture.
That takes like a year recovery, or even less than like probably 10 months or 8 months. It wasn't like a season ender where he had to go for rehab and whatnot. It was an ACL in college, and then the cartilage one, which is it's nothing.
What a
happened?
play!
What happened?
Oh my God! Did you just see what Vinny just put?
Hold on, I will check this.
That's crazy.
Oh my God, that's sick to my stomach right there, bro.
And
wow,
it's a possibility. That's all I gotta say.
It is true. It is true. I'm on his Twitter right now.
Oh.
Source: the Jets will be conducting an interview with OC Nathaniel Hackett for the head coaching vacancy.
I don't think they do it because I think that this year I think they would have promoted him this year.
I think it's just a courtesy.
Yeah,
it's just a courtesy.
They really couldn't, William. I think that's how bad everything was. They couldn't promote him.
Wow.
Because the outcry of why not Ulbrich, even though Ulbrich proved that he's not a head coach, but everybody was clamoring for Ulbrich to become the head coach if Saleh was to get fired.
That's true. That's true.
Not me.
Yeah.
Yo, I was anti Ulbrich from the jump. I remember when he first came here, the first year and the second one, until Saleh took over his stuff because he couldn't fucking deal with the head coaching. I mean, with the defensive coordinating shit that he was supposed to do and everything. I was anti Ulbrich being the interim coach. I actually wanted Middleton to be it because of what he did when Saleh was out during the whole COVID game and shit like
I
that.
remember that.
So, look, I
So-
hope they fucking blowtorch everybody out of that place.
The only thing is with
I
Hackett,
want to see
right?
tumbleweed rolling through. You're right.
So, like, the common narrative is like, nah, no way. There's no way that he's even a candidate.
This is
Let's
Gase
go
all over
back.
again.
Gase was not even considered. Us Jet fans were like, yeah, there's no way. It's
Blame Urban
that's
Meyer.
what's scary. But that's scary. Just even thinking that they're going through with the interview. That's why, like, this is what kind of brings me back to earth. I want to be like, oh, Jet Super Bowl, they're competent. They're going to get Borgonzi. No. Honestly, if they wheel out Hackett as the next head coach of the New York Jets, what are we going to do?
Just look at what it says under my name. Ready for disappointment.
Yeah.
Oh,
I can't have it past them.
There's a part of me that doesn't think he's going to get the job just because like they were willing to fire him and he said he wanted to stay. I mean, I don't know.
Again, the thing is, it's the Rodgers thing, right? Where Woody is, he's paying out of his ass and whatnot. Run it back one more year.
This
One
is what
more.
everybody wanted Aaron Rodgers for.
Yep. And
This is
Armand,
I
what
you
warned
become-
said this.
everybody. I said, this is what comes with him.
Armand, you nailed it about two years ago. You said, like, let's say if Saleh goes out, the next guy up is going to be probably Hackett. And if Hackett-
and then proved me wrong. It went with Ulbrich.
Yeah, but he's
But-
still lingering. He's
Yeah.
still lingering like a bad fart. You know what I mean? He's still there. It's still there. And he does not deserve a freaking interview. He doesn't. But again, the Jets are the Jets. This is scary, fellas. I'm
To-
sorry,
to
man. That
me-
is scary.
To me, this is Woody wanting to interview him.
Why?
Maybe he wants Rodgers back, and maybe he feels like
I could see that.
Yes.
I think
You're
he's just
right.
doing it as a accommodation to say, okay, we'll have him interview.
For what?
Just an interview.
just
Same as Rex.
Oh my God.
Are you guys watching this game?
How do you entertain that? How do you
Yeah, I have it on,
entertain
Jen.
that?
Holy shit, this game is crazy.
Is
I
that
don't
being
want
reviewed
Rex,
for an
man.
incomplete pass, even though it looks like it's a clean interception.
Yeah, it's being reviewed
What
Yep.
channel is it on?
on
ESPN.
ESPN.
All right, I'm gonna hop off and watch this. All right,
Sunday.
Liam,
So no to Rex.
that's a no to Rex.
Yeah, it's a no to Rex.
And
Hell no
that's
to Rex.
that's a wrap up
But
for us.
listen, The only
Yeah,
person I
it's
would
not the
take
way I
Rex-
wanted to end the show.
The
You
only
freaking
person I
Hackett.
would choose Rex over is Rex over Hackett, but I don't want neither one. of them.
Yes.
That-
I would
that-
I would
that is
agree
it.
with that. I
That
would
is
agree
it.
with that.
Last thing, real quick, before you guys go, Dan.
Yeah.
I wanted to get your things on this, right? Aaron Glenn, head coach.
Mhm.
OC McCowan, even though I know Armand hates him,
Mhm.
right?
I don't hate him. Just he has no experience as a coordinator.
Good.
Mike,
Good.
no, hold on. Flores, OC, Flores head coach, McCowan OC, Mike Pettit as DC.
Mike Pettin.
I don't think
He's
Patton's gonna
he's
come
over
back.
there. He's over there with Flores and them. He's part of his
I don't think he'll
defensive
come
He
coach.
could stay there.
As long as it's not Hackett, you can give me Mickey Mouse at head coach. I don't care. I'll take that. I do not want this. Guys, this is real, man. Yeah, I don't know how people would look at this and be like, oh, yeah, he's just going there for an interview. No, this is some serious stuff, man.
Yeah.
That Hackett? Oh, man. As long as Aaron Rodgers is still the quarterback of the New York Jets, which he still is, he's still not, he didn't retire yet. This card is still there. Yep, that's what he's doing to the Jet fans. That smirk.
Mhm.
Yep.
And Devontae in the back too.
Yep. Yeah, I wouldn't even be surprised if
And
they signed
McAfee
as a
just
kicker
do-
again.
Yeah, McAfee's just doing that because he's boys
Only
with
the
Rogers.
Jets, man. This is sombering, man. It
There's
really
a part of me that would take McAfee as a kicker, believe it or not.
as a coach.
Special teams coordinator Pat McAfee.
That
Yes.
would probably be really good. Like I talk about like a motivator.
He's a
You see,
punter.
you saw the way
he take a pay cut.
Yeah, he would.
Yes.
He's too big.
Thomas
now.
Morstead as special teams coordinator.
I'm in.
There, I said it.
I'm so
What if there's
in.
a chance we get Westhoff healthy and get him back here?
I would
No.
For
take
how
it.
many years?
Don't matter.
Leave him
matter.
alone.
Till he dies. So he's just
Leave
here
the
for
guy
old days?
alone.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna
Let
get
him
head
live.
My
coach.
hair's looking like Westhoff's.
We're gonna get Pete Carroll as head coach, Westhoff as a special teams coach.
Right. And Biden is our strength and conditioning coach.
You want? I got one way worse than
We're gonna
that.
get like Lombardi. It's like
Rex
Right.
Ryan, head coach. Mark Sanchez as OC.
Mhm.
Right. Bart Scott as our DC. We're bringing everybody back over here.
I
man.
like Bart as a coach. I don't want Sanchez as a coach.
Yeah, I'd rather have Eric
I was
Barton.
gonna say McCown.
Warren is a
OC.
linebackers coach.
Yeah, put him in as a
McCown-
quarterback because
McCown
the
is
Jets
OC,
have no idea what they're
Johnny
doing.
Sanchez, that's QB coach.
What about
Hey.
Mangold as like an offensive line coach?
Very good. Why not?
Why not do it? All of it. I'm talking about all of it.
I'm
Bring
in.
back Jim Leonard. Well, Jim Leonard is actually a DC,
That's who
that's
I
a
would
good- so
love
that's
to
a
have.
good one.
Yeah, I agree.
but we would have to give him a chance. Unlike Armand doesn't want to give none of these
Yeah,
guys
no.
chances
No
at
chances. No
I
chance.
would
If
give
that's
Leonard
what
a
you
chance
got.
at DC.
Well, he's a DC
Yeah.
to DC.
Yeah, DC
Right.
to DC, I have no problem.
all. He's not a DC. He's a linebackers coach.
Why did nobody else
Bring him here as the
acknowledge that?
linebackers coach or
Nobody.
secondary coach. He played safety here in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, he was our general on that defense.
Listen,
I don't know.
If Aaron Glenn is your coach, you bring in Doug Peterson as your OC, and now you have a veteran head coach to assist Aaron Glenn so he adjusts.
I'm in. I'm cool with it.
Do they have a relationship though together?
You get a relationship,
Yep.
but you have a veteran, to assist him.
Very like-minded. Very like-minded. Very disciplinarian. They're
I
player
think
friendly.
Peterson is at the point where he knows he's not getting another head coaching position.
Right.
What if
I think it would
what if
be
we do
great.
bring
Ask
back
somebody
Rex and
either
then
as
we
his
bring
QB
back
coach or passing game coordinator or assistant offensive coordinator. That's going to be the guy in line to take his role when he leaves.
Who's that?
Peterson. You have him have an assistant OC or the quarterback's coach.
Bring him
or
a count.
what if we bring in Brian Schottenheimer?
Assistant OC.
Mark my
QB
words.
Coach with Peterson. I'll take that. I will take that after
Wait, what is that? What is that?
Peterson.
McCown
as
is assistant
OC.
OC.
Okay. I'm
And
in.
be
That's
quarterback.
a good like
coach.
learning experience for him.
But he
Mark
becomes
my
a quarterback
words.
coach.
McCowan is going to be a head coach within the next 2 to 3 years.
He
and
almost
he's
got
going
the
to be a
Texans
beast.
job. He
That's
almost
true.
got the Texans job because they're a bunch of morons.
Didn't
But they're in the playoffs. They're not that bad. They're not that moronic. You know what I mean?
They just like the
moronic?
Commanders,
No,
they
that's a
hit
word
on
you
the
don't hear every day.
Armand is a battered Jets fan. Okay, guys.
Great show.
I'm
Oh,
broken
that is a great
by this
show.
Goddamn team.
Oh my
It's the
I am
blonde
broken.
hair.
I just got to bring
It
this
brought, out
visual up.
it brought out the best of him.
Armand,
Look at
you're
this.
awesome, bro. I appreciate you, man.
Look at this.
I
Look
love
at
this stuff.
Are you kidding me? What?
Can't wait to him.
You know it.
Read and white, baby. Let's go.
Oh my
Well, he's bald, so he's not in, right?
Johnny's gonna love this for me. I would take
Well,
McCown.
it
over
says a
Nathaniel Hackett.
source. I want to hear it actually happen.
It's because he's bald. He's not going to get the job.
No.
It's because of his dad and what he's done in the past for the
No,
organization.
What has his
he's
dad done in
bald, and that
20
means
years?
He's gonna get the job. That's what
Hunt the
worst
Jets.
thing.
You know?
Look what he did in Denver. He has the experience as a head coach.
Who was the OC in 2015 when Fitzpatrick had that wonderful year?
Chan Gailey.
Dan Gailey.
Veteran OC, right?
Right. But with that being said, do you guys remember John Morton? Liam and I, we were talking about this.
Yeah.
I liked him a lot. It was really fun with Josh McCown.
Yeah.
That right?
27-24. Yeah.
What's going on there? Right? Can you share those
for
picks?
Notre
the
Dame just kicked a
win.
field goal.
Field goal. They got it with 8
7.
seconds left.
8 or 7.
Who's winning?
7 now.
Notre Dame.
Notre
Dame.
Notre Dame.
Ooh, my kind of team. Heck yeah. Tyson,
How would
must
you
be love it
imagine
here.
we get Rex back and then we bring back Brian Schottenheimer?
Mhm.
Let's run it all the way back.
And you know what? If we're gonna go that route, right?
Bring Marty Schottenheimer back.
Like this guy
Yeah,
really
pair him with Pete Carroll and
That's it.
Westhoff.
No,
The
pair him
generic
with this
team.
guy. I'm sure this guy has some free time. Yeah, bring him back. Again, why not? Bring him back. You know?
OC
Quarterback
coach.
Yeah,
No, quarterback.
he can
Quarterback.
he can coach the
Yeah.
practice squad quarterback because they both won't play.
Definitely, he could check it down to the other team.
You guys remember when he was talking about his tenure over here and how he was saying how dysfunctional the actual organization itself was?
Right.
And we all were killing him for it. And now I'm like,
yeah,
he might have been onto something.
Oh,
He
did
definitely
anybody
was.
See the Fitzpatrick clip of him talking about Flores?
Yeah, he sounds like
When he was there in
sounds
Miami?
like a baby. Yo, Fitzpatrick's a bum, bro. He's such a little little
Really?
girl.
Because if it wasn't for Flores, when they didn't develop, he pulled Tua to play Fitzpatrick into his second rookie season when he should have kept him in there to develop him to go for a wild card spot.
Yeah, I don't know. Didn't he say like when he was like on the Jets, he like lost his passion for football and everything?
Yep.
He had a great season.
He's a bum, bro. That dude's a bum, man.
And they gave him $10 million the following year.
No,
Yeah,
wasn't it
and
15?
then he
And he played like shit.
yeah in
Wasn't it
2016.
Oh
15?
man. All right, Tyler Warren's
it
about to
15?
grab a bomb.
I don't remember.
Let's see what Drew Aller does. Damn, 11 for 21, 139
4
yards.
seconds left.
See what happens.
Oh, you must be ahead of me, Ephraim.
Yeah,
I always am.
Look at that. Bam. Beat him. It's great. All right, let's see what we're at here.
Yo,
Notre Dame wins it.
oh man, Aller looks bad, bro.
Yeah, he's got to stay in college.
Yep,
Think-
he's staying
Stay
in
in
college
school.
now.
Stay in
Smart
school,
man.
kids.
Stay in school, exactly.
What's
Guys,
that?
I just want to thank all you guys for hopping on right now. Liam, Armand, Ephraim, Johnny Boy. Again, everyone that was here. Vinny, big ups to Buffalo Jets fan that, he made some
Justin.
time for us. Justin, go Jets. And whoever's watching this, if you can, just hit the subscribe button. And we'll see you guys next Thursday at 9 o'clock. Hopefully we have our GM. Hopefully we have our head coach. And maybe we might have surprise head coaching candidates out on the horizon. McDermott, mark
We
my
might
words.
also we will potentially have an exclusive interview too.
That's a possibility.
Curtis Martin,
Ernest, the
GM.
head coach.
Maybe. Sean McDermott. The Bills are going to lose this Sunday. Bank it.
Quarterback, Ken O'Brien of California Davis.
Just 14 that first time, now going long. They got a wide open man, and he makes the catch. It's Braylon Edwards picking off. Braylon Edwards will take it home for the touchdown. 80.
First down in San Diego territory at the 47-yard line. Big draw. And Pennington going for 6. Deep down the field, and